Well, we've presented a few awards today, ladies and gentlemen, and there aren't many teams after that get more decorated than the Atlanta Reign and the Chengdu Hunters. We have MVP versus Rookie of the Year in our last matchup of the night, Matthew.
Yeah, this one's going to be, as Bren said, I believe it was a Giga banger.
A Yotta banger, this one is.
A Yotta banger,
This is
right?
a Yotta banger, Matthew.
I think that's a made-up term. But, no, two very good teams, right? Chengdu, they're... maybe they're like the surprise of this year, right? I think people expect them to be good, but maybe not as good as they have been. Leave, obviously, a tremendous year, completely deserving of the MVP. And then the other side, the Atlanta Reign. They have been pretty consistent throughout the year. They made it to Hawaii. This is their fourth time there. They have the Rookie of the Year Pelican. We know what they're going to do in terms of the tank line, and a lot of other teams do as well. But they just can't seem to stop them.
And look, Atlanta know exactly what Chengdu like to do, and they know how they like to play. Now, they weren't able to stop them last time they went head-to-head. It was in Hawaii. I mean, the Atlanta Reign have done quite a few treks out to Hawaii. Now, from where they're based, that's quite a long distance to travel to play Overwatch. And they went up against the Chengdu Hunters in the lower final, of course, in the Countdown Cup. And, well, they pulled short by quite a distinct margin. In fact, the Chengdu Hunters were too aggressive, too fast for them to deal with, but the Atlanta Reign are back. They've got a chip on their shoulder, like always. And now let's welcome to the stage. Make some virtual noise, everybody, for the Atlanta Reign.
The Atlanta Reign, cool, calm, and collected, answering back with pick after pick. Atlanta Reign with some absurd DPS performances. Gator lays down the shadow. That is beautiful. Oh! My God. It's like, okay, well, Pelican's down. Time to step up, I guess. Headshot after headshot after headshot.
Stunning defensive work.
Oh, my goodness.
It's devastating how good Pelican is. Kai! He gets two! And Hawk with the self-destruct.
The Atlanta Reign, they're looking straight at the top, Matthew. Team who's always got something to prove, the Atlanta Reign, look, really dished out a special brand of dominance against so many of the other Western teams especially, right? They really stood at the top of the heap in that region. You know, making 3 trips to Hawaii during the regular season to compete. That puts them in the top 2 across the region every single time. The star-studded lineup, Matthew, with incredible cracked-out individuals, and including a Rookie of the Year, of course, Pelican.
Yeah, and you have Pelican in a much better situation this time than the previous
it's definitely an
improvement,
right? Sure.
An improvement, right? Not playing from Atlanta, fresh off of surgery. You have him playing from Los Angeles here, throughout the playoffs. I also think, looking past Pelican, I think Hawk has had a tremendous year. And then Iris as well. When we were talking about role stars, Iris is somebody that I definitely put forward. I thought he's had a very good year, not talked about enough in the flex support role.
This is the team. Got a defined play style, Matt, really defined by the comfort of these individuals. Talking about teams with comfortable play styles. It might not be comfortable to watch, but I tell you what, the Hunters make it look easy. Let's present, of course, the Chengdu Hunters.
The Chengdu zone, it absolutely does exist. This could get very down and dirty.
Whoa, and the bash bash! Mike is getting so many picks!
They have rampaged. The Hunters will be desperate for revenge.
Oh, beautiful stuff from Amon!
Shinbu! Somebody stop him!
He's a monster. No one has been able to shut him down. He's a freak.
Oh my goodness, they are looking good right now.
A team that really embodies that aggressive tendency that we see so many players and trying to bring to the world stage. The Chengdu Hunters have some of the strongest individuals in the world. I think they have the best player in the world in Leave. He was heralded as a future MVP as soon as he joined the Overwatch League. And even before that, we got to see him at World Cup on China. Everyone was like, this guy is going to be the best.
So, this is interesting, though, from Chengdu. They're going to start far away, and they're going to start Nisha. The NA underneath their name does not mean they're near the airport or anything like that. North America. No, that means that they have not played even enough to be registered on the power rankings. So that tells you how little they've kind of played throughout the year. It's a very interesting move because you've had a support line for Chengdu that has been playing pretty consistently throughout the season. And, you know, we've seen, like, them bring in, you know, Nisha at times and then bring in Faraway at a different time.
Yeah, both, like, Mercy and Zen, respectively. We've seen a fair bit of them on. Nisha's a great Mercy player. Really, really good.
And if my memory serves me correct, they would typically bring them in, or at least the series I think we casted, they brought them in when they brought in Eamon. When they kind of switched up that main tank, right? Because sometimes they were like, they do like a wholesale type of change in terms of like bringing in, you know, Eamon, changing the supports, right? This time you still have Gaga in the game. So I'm interested to see what Chengdu's got cooked up here.
It's definitely going to be something interesting, and as per usual and as per their regional custom, it's probably going to be spicy. The first map in this series, as you can see, is going to be Nepal, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Masa, I think, you know, it was another Upcomer article. We're referencing this publication quite a lot recently because I had some great quotes packed in. And Masa says, look, I know why Chengdu picked us. It's because we, with our, you know, plodding, sort of more ponderous style, struggled against their hyper-aggressive one in the Countdown Cup. But again, if we can get over this, I'm paraphrasing here, if we can get over this hurdle, it'll send a huge message to the other teams. It'll set us in an incredible stead. Now, the Shock said the same thing about, you know, getting rid of Shanghai, and it's wishful thinking, of course.
Well, the thing with Atlanta is they're not going to come out and probably do anything like the Shock did, right? They're not going to come out and try and play some Winston-based comms. They're not going to play you know, any type of, like, ball. They're going to play Ryan, and they're going to play Orisa comms, and they're going to try and make it work. So if they can force that type of playstyle, that definitely changes up what you kind of think about with this weekend.
All right, so Nisha going to be on that characteristic Mercy, of course. It's Farah Mercy with Leave on the Sombra here. Yes, he boasts the very best Tracer stats in the world, but his Sombra is also pretty clean behind the ears. Pelican spent his team out on the Symmetra, and now he's going to be on the Tracer. See what he can do now, of course, with a little bit of a latency disadvantage, but doesn't seem to really hamper him at all early there, as he gets a lot of damage from Jinwoo and sets up the kill.
Yeah, and you can see right away when Nisha's in, like you mentioned, very good Mercy player, and then far away on the Ana. So that's going to be Atlanta getting control of the point first. Now it's Pelican up on the high ground. I don't think Jinwoo would expect him to be there. And then Kai just with a shot to finish him off. And they pressured out Nisha enough that he was not safe enough to go for the res. So good start for Atlanta.
Yeah, look, and remember, this is Reinhardt Lucio Rush, right? So we didn't quite see this from San Francisco, right? They played the Bap Zen or they played the Lucio Moira. So this is a little bit more middle ground, but Kai's not able to see Jinwoo coming there. He comes straight over the top from the roof and finds that kill. Nisha, he'll be hard-pressed to find a resurrect opportunity here for Farway. They're going to be without their Rana for the rest of this fight, and that does not bode well.
And that is a fast ant matrix here used by Iris. That's going to force a lot of these players down the line. I mean, look at where it forces Jinwoo. Just no ability to get any type of damage on the point is Pelican. A little back whack to Leave's head there as Leave building up towards that EMP, but Chengdu giving up 50% already.
Yeah, look, you depend on Pax as the Tracer, and you're dealing with a hacked one right there. It's tough to win that matchup. Oh, Jinwoo stunned there in midair, but Farway's able to find a connection with a Biotic Grenade onto Kai. Nicely done with Leave on the EMP. Keeps Jinwoo alive there after he got interrupted coming in for their barrage.
Yeah, so now it'll be Chengdu able to take the point. Nice EMP, bring back Faraway. So now you have the ability to use this Rocket Barrage in the next fight. Mines as well. But expect Atlanta to get really aggressive behind this sound barrier.
Yeah, Masa on his preferred hero looking to propel the Rain forward. Jeez, if I'm honest with you, Iris is on that too. Iris Baptiste is a thing to behold, but they're going to be running into a barrage here. There's a minefield for Gaga, who is touted as being much more, I guess, deep in terms of hero pool than Amon, but hasn't really had to demonstrate that range. He's just had a fantastic ball in general. And yeah, that shadow, that's going to happen against these comps. They're happy to get late Young there, but he might have a mech reset now after he pops the bomb and climbs back in.
Yeah, I mean, did you get late Young? You're going to demech him, and that gets him weak enough that maybe you're able to get him again. Is this be a Deadeye from the side? Kai looking for anything here and going to come up with nothing.
Hawk self-destruct creates a lot of space for Kai to be unharried during the use of that Deadeye, but there's just no targets that present themselves. Chengdu are now sneaking back up in terms of capture percentage in the Rain. Not a lot of relevant ultimates to work with here, and frankly, the Air Matrix is really hard to get value with against a Wrecking Ball who can knock you out the way.
Yeah, and I would also say now that Chengdu has control of the point, I mean, look at the sight lines that Jinwoo can use. These are really tough. I mean, how is a McCree supposed to deal with this?
Not a boosted fire, it's just not possible. Oh, a two-shot. Nisha wasn't healing Jinmu at the time. Man, that could have been over real quick, and I would have been eating my words, that's for sure. Nisha gets picked up by Hawk. The one Pelican has already found his way towards Far Away, who can't get away, and that's a backline disintegrating.
Hawk has played so good throughout this season, right? Able to get Nisha, you see there, then use the defense matrix of the entire barrage. Deals with leave too. So, Chengdu will get up to 99, but Atlanta with a flip.
Yeah, not a moment too soon now. They'll be dealing with an EMP in this next fight, so there has to be a stratagem in place to make sure Masa can get a proper sound barrier. Pelican definitely hoping to find value here early. Farway slips something, it's hard to say. Pelican doesn't connect the pulse bomb. That was the only ultimate the Rain had at the time. Here's an EMP, Matt.
And it's pretty decent. Masa's going to get the sound barrier here, and it's going to connect with everybody.
Perfect. That's what the Rain had to do. Get that sound barrier on those players and catch them against the oncoming damage from the EMP. Atlanta are in control of the point now, and Masa played that to absolute perfection. Farway crumbles under Kai's scrutiny, and the Rain have the numbers to work with now. Hawk deals with leave on the point, and it's going to take a little bit more than an MVP to keep you propped up against the Atlanta Rain, who come out strong early.
You get Kai on these heroes, where her aim is the #1 determining factor of whether he's going to be good or not, and you feel really good about his skill and his ability to be able to make shots like that. Wrecking ball right in his face, sees Diana just peek into the doorway, shot right to the head, finishes off Far Away. As really, Atlanta has put everything together throughout this season. Kai has come in. Late addition, right? And he wasn't really supposed to be on this team until everybody on the Valiant got let go. You see how close. Masa's so weak here, by the way. So low.
And look, he actually direct inputs left, which means that he gets the sound barrier activation a little quicker because he's going up a sloped surface. Same as Reinhardt players who want to shatter up a sloped surface to actually get the activation of the ability. Perfect stuff from Masa, and he breaks line of sight like a champ. Stunning stuff.
At least for 1 point, Atlanta has been able to play their style. That is not damage boosted. That is not with a Discord. That is just him clicking Jinmu. Like, that's got to be a headshot plus a body shot. Just
that cowboy just dished out a rawhide, Matthew. Jinmu gets snapped in two. And again, it's the astonishing regularity with which Kai connects those headshots on McCree that makes him such a threat.
Yeah, it's not going to result, though, in having the point for long here, it looks like, as Chengdu is battle back quite quickly. Iris out of the picture. That's the immortality field out of the way. As Gator gets on the point here, and Masa here as well. And he's quite building towards this sound barrier rather quickly.
I mean, Lei Young's hit with a defensive biotic grenade and then Mercy Beam, so
Chengdu is not taking advantage of this window.
Yeah. They are keeping a foot on the point, but why? What's the point? There's no players ready to capitalize. Jinmu catches Pelican there. He's stuck looking from the ground up now. It's going to be 4 players. Sound barrier. Daddy goes forward, though. The Rain need to make use of the close quarters as quickly as they can, and Kai forces them out of position. This is all stall. The Hunters haven't been able to take the point back, and Kai, without the Deadeye, cleans up Jinmu again. He sees the Mercy in midair, and the Hunters have flipped the point back. Kai now is just getting staggered.
Yes, he's going to get dropped, but Chengdu finally able to take advantage of that scenario, right? You got rid of Iris, you had a few players off the point. Looks like Leave destroyed his own translocator there, so Atlanta will come back in. You'll have an Ant Matrix here, probably just to kind of help Kai out, but Chengdu will probably get aggressive. Use this EMP, get right into the face of the Atlanta Rain.
There's that EMP from Leave. It catches Hawk and Kai, but it's still going to be the immortality field in play. Darker gets rid of that now. The Pelicans able to strike and get rid of Far Away. Jimmy trying to backtrack a little bit there as the bomb comes in and over the top, but Nisha couldn't follow him around the pillar. He's caught in the blast. The Hunters have control, but that's about to be wrested from them as Jimmy was no healing left as this Mercy got left out of the nuclear fallout.
Yeah, it's a big bomb from Hawk, able to connect onto Nisha, also get back in the mech, pick up another kill, and that allows them to get back onto the point and flip this in their favor. You'll have a Deadeye here from range for Kai. And what does Chengdu have to work with? I mean, you have the mines, but they're going to play so spread out, Atlanta. You could have just Gator and Hawk just cycle point with Masa, and that's enough to hold on to it and contest. where to even drop a minefield, and Atlanta may not even let them play that type of style. They're going to play close up.
It's a very defensive minefield.
Uh-oh.
Kai can't go anywhere, though. That immortality field keeps him alive. Nice little touch there from, oh my god! Kai just sends Leaves' head absolutely rolling and barely breaks a sweat doing it. At least he looks that way, but he's kind of dour in demeanor. I guess that's just him.
If that was me hitting that shot, I'd be standing up. I would have thrown my keyboard. I would have gone crazy. He's just stone cold.
So the guy wins the bronze medal and is like, you know, spraying the champagne everywhere.
I'll celebrate it.
Oh, man. Stunning stuff there from the Atlanta Reign. Again, Kovacs Kai strikes again.
He makes it look so easy.
And Matrix there, Jinmu trying to get to work here, but it's Late Young that removes Kai from the equation. Mamasa wants to commit here with the sound barrier. It's 93% and counting now, but the Reign, what vehicle do they have with which to punish the Hunters at a player disadvantage? Pelican, I guess, is the one. He deals with far away. And oh, Late Young goes over the edge. That is absolutely huge. Jinmu trying to trace down there. He's looking for Pelican. There's a big EMP connection there from Leave, but there's no follow-up in time. Pelican lives to fight another day, and Kai's back on the legs. Gaga gets hit in the face with a Helix rocket now, and another one falls. The Soldier 76 is dishing a delectable brand of destruction. And the Atlanta Reign take the first map in this series, already subverting the past.
And obviously 2 different games, 2 different teams on either side. But think about when we saw the Shock have to deal with the ball and the Pharah compositions. This looked much different. We know Jinmu's a very talented Pharah, same with Gaga on the ball, but Hawk doing a tremendous job on the Diva, tracking Jinmu up in the sky, making it very difficult for Jinmu and Nisha, and then also giving Kai the space to being able to nail these shots, whether on the Cowboy or the 76 at the end. Just makes a huge difference here for this team as they look really good.
Really goes to show just how good your McCree has to be to pressure a Pharah to that degree. Good look early from the Atlanta Reign here. The Chengdu Hunters, they've dealt with this team before, but this is another level. They're going to have to find one too after the break.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
statement opening here for the Atlanta Reign in this series, and you can make yourself a statement as well by getting yourself shouted out in the broadcast. What's good, Hasdio? Nice job here on our Overwatch League Pick'em Live leaderboard. Y'all can play along at live.overwatchleague.com. From what I understand, plenty of trivia questions. Clearly, Hasdio and Firecarter probably answered the Flutter deadlift question.
Much better than the shout out that I gave the last time we were on broadcast to the person I forgot their name.
Well, I mean, a shout out without a name is, well, I don't really know what it is. So it's a bit strange, really. Of course, you can play along with us.
Not exactly
online.
a shout out, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they, it's just a waste of airspace, actually. Leave be reclining here, of course, down at Wisdom Bay here in Shanghai, China. Obviously, our Chinese region teams are getting themselves set up under the lights here to really simulate the experience of playing these kind of games at LAN. And look, not the kind of start they were looking for. They really crushed Atlanta Reign last time they played them. They subjugated them. This time, though, whew, great start from Atlanta.
I mean, look, Pelican makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta, a team that has been to Hawaii 3 straight times, some time off, like rest a little bit, watch a ton of VODs, get in the right. I think Atlanta, for me, like, getting in the right headspace, right? Making sure they're focused on the game, kind of like outside things. Because, when it's going good for this team, it goes really good. Once it seems to go bad, it seems difficult to pick themselves out of it. The next map will be Anubis. That's obviously Chengdu's pick. But, man, when Atlanta's rolling, they look like they could beat anybody and beat them, handily. They look that good.
I feel like he's seeing Atlanta prefer to play that classic May Melee look, right? The Baptiste, the Lucio, Ryan, Diva, and then a permutation of Tracer, McCree, or something similar.
I also think you got to give the Atlanta Reign just kind of organization, Brad and Co, some credit in the fact that when we saw like Iris last year for a little bit, right, and we saw him in the past, it was like, well, can he be a flex support that plays the entire time, right? People wondering, like, what's the future of Masa for this team, with how they kind of went out last year. Gator and Hawk, right? Ton of hype coming out of contenders. Maybe they didn't, like, hit that level. And they have committed to this core. They knew that these players are very talented. You build around them, give them time, and add incrementally, right? They added Edison. They bring in Edison, right? Then you start to bring in Pelican. Kai's a free agent. Let's bring in Kai. You start to add, pieces to a support and a tank line that you actually really do believe in, and you give them time to gel, and this is the results that you get.
The Atlanta Reign might be about to show us it's not just that Reinhardt rush look that they've developed here. This would be a variation on that one that we saw a little bit more during the June Joust. That's right, Lucio Moira here with the Winston Diva. And for the Chengdu Hunters, we get Leave back on the Echo. He's definitely one of his best looks. Of course, Farway and Nisha stay in.
Yeah, which I think is a little bit of a shock, but it's clearly to play this, Mercy Ana, which they must feel is like the support line you want to play with this now. But
you don't want your belt on Mercy? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. As you have Atlanta on the Winston Diva, so this is something that you probably see them only do here on Anubis.
Oh my! The Hunters are getting minced right now.
And this is the comp we saw the Shock use, right? With the Moira and the Lucio, and then you also have Reaper plus Sombra. And you pick a target and you barrel them down. It's almost like a Reinhardt rush, right, type style. But instead of playing the Reinhardt for the verticality and the ability to close the gap faster, you're just playing the Winston.
And looks really good. You see the focus there for Hawk. He was constantly looking for Nisha, who now has been forced to switch over towards the Brigitte. No more Mercy. And again, was feeling just a little too vulnerable there, especially with the scrutiny of the Reaper. Okay, Iris goes forward. Oh, they get a hack on Nisha. That's huge. They're diving this backline so expertly, and Iris knows exactly what his job is, man. Cowabunga dives in, pops a coalescence immediately, and there's already one tick here for the Reign. EMP from Lead, can it get them out of dodge? It may just.
Yeah, and that EMP might save them in the end. It's an EMP actually plus the Biotic Grenade. Faraway hits a Biotic Grenade on a few players there since deny any type of healing. But Atlanta coming back to this next fight, you have the ability to use Sound Barrier with no real negative effects because there's not going to be an EMP on the other side. And you have an EMP of your own. You're set up to be in a pretty good spot here if you're Atlanta. Who's not set up in a good spot here is Hawk, as he is, yeah, he's having a rough
I
time.
wonder what the split is for someone like Hawk and all his years of professional play between being desuited and staggered and being in mech.
Right. I was thinking more of like, what has been the playtime of Faraway and Misha throughout the season, not exactly, what's Hawk's time spent in mech versus not.
That's a fine stat, I guess. If that's what you're into.
Jinmu knows that they have to have these abilities, especially now that they get a hack on Amasa. Oh, and that's going to be an EMPS are coming in. They're going to be able to burn down at least 2.
Yeah, Gator now, Primal Rage. He was hit with the Bionic Grenade, but still able to get that health back, of course, and the sound barrier is in play here. Jinmu gets rid of Pelican well enough, but Lee's going to have to make a big play with a duplicate here, and he's going to be copying the Reaper guy. Looking for an early Death Blossom in the backline, comes away with absolutely nothing. The EMP from Jinmu, though, is also there. Powerful ultimates at play for the Chengdu Hunters. And Iris is trying to keep the rain topped up with just a coalescence. Gaga's hacked out the open. He's done.
Yeah, and you do have the Death Blossom if need here. That's going to be the rally from Nisha, and that's going to be a Nano boost here as the Nano goes on to Light Young. Just trying to beef him up, make him be able to stay alive.
And it works. Look at this. He holds the door in a big way. The Atlanta Reign were unable to push in past the very durable Diva mech. And now they have to regroup. They lost Iris, Matthew.
You still have Hawk out of mech as he's trying to get one back. Mazda's already going to have another sound barrier. It looks like that's going to be a pause here coming out of Chengdu. So we'll figure out what's happening now. So Chengdu looks like they have no ultimates to deal with this next fight coming up. And you're going to have the sound barrier and Death Blossom here. Pelican building up another EMP in that fight.
The Atlanta Reign obviously looked poised there to really capture the point there after the Hunters. I mean, they get a hack on Masa. That's what precipitates the Hunters' sort of aggressive defense there, with Gaga dropping down off the archway outside of the temple. But he and Late Young get caught, of course, in that EMP. And that's where you start seeing the Reign being able to push forward. It's not until Jinmu comes out with an EMP of his own, which, by the way, I mean, at one point, I think Chengdu were playing with, 2 of the top 4 Sombra players in the entire league, right?
So the question here will be, once we get back into game, it looks like right now, at least on the minimap that we have, Atlanta is backing out. Obviously, Hawk, the position that he's in, trying to get a new mech. When we get back into game, will Chengdu kind of have a grip on whether Masa has another sound barrier? And whether Pelican is close to this EMP, because what I could easily see happening is Chengdu, not being up to snuff on the abilities ultimates so fast. They try and take an aggressive hold near the choke, and we see a sound barrier Death Blossom into an EMP back on the point, and it's an Atlanta Reign tank.
So the Hunters are in a position here where you'd expect them to play aggressively, but look, it wouldn't be the first time they get caught by an EMP when they try and play forward. I wonder if Hunters maybe change tack a little bit. I think, okay, in the last couple of team fights, it's probably been a little difficult to track EMP, sort of game for both of those Sombra ultimates, or how quickly they charge it up, because every fight is probably a little too frequent, but when the fights go as long as they have been, teams maybe are not always aware, like, oh, wait a minute, they probably built a whole nother EMP in that fight again.
Right, and for Chengdu specifically, right, you probably don't expect the Lucio to be where he's at. You definitely know that Kai has the Death Blossom. You haven't seen it in ages. And Atlanta is playing from a position of power where they kind of have an idea, like, look, Chengdu, we've seen them use just about everything here. Faraway does not have that nano boost. We've seen the rally come out. The fight doesn't last long enough to where they're able to build up another one, right? Some of those ultimates are quite hard to build, especially like if Gaga's not taking a ton of damage and getting charged up. But we do see, that maybe they play a little bit aggressive and they get caught off guard.
Now, what we're experiencing right now is a PC issue with Nisha, if I'm not mistaken. So, while we wait for that to be ameliorated, let's hear some of the sights and sounds from the play-ins.
마이크 체크할 게 뭐가 있어요?
마이크 안 들려도 돼, 성아.
들려?
그래요.
Wait, FD, let me see your mic.
Troy, mic check. Troy.
Hey, Troy, man.
Troy, mic check.
Troy!
Yeah, man.
Wake up! Wake up! Hey, you wake up! Going in. Let's go, guys. Hey. Wait, you troll? Wait, we start? No. 하나, 둘, 셋. Hunters, 파이팅!
Reckon there's a key that works for another lock. There's a key that works for another lock.
No.
The whole world. What? All the keys and all the locks. One key would unlock 2 locks, surely.
No.
But there's so many keys.
Yeah.
Just stop thinking, I think, punk. Ah, yep, sorry.
Or another first thing. 우리 레인 쓸게.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Violet.
What?
Why Shanghai?
Why Shanghai?
Yeah.
Because Shanghai is the best team.
No, Gladi is best now.
Okay, I go Gladi.
Wow, we actually get to go to Hawaii.
Right, the offending matter seems to have been removed from Nisha's PC, and we're about ready to go back in here. To refresh your memories, everybody, Atlanta Reign won the first map in this series. That was Nepal. And we're on the Temple of Anubis right now. The Atlanta Reign have captured 1 checkpoint and have 1 tick on the second, with 3 minutes 30 to spare.
And I think it's important to see how Chengdu comes out of this and play. They're playing at the choke. They probably do not expect the sound barrier to be back online and very close to this EMP. So let's see if they get caught off guard. I think there's a chance they might.
Yeah, how much of Chengdu's posturing here indicates whether or not they're expecting an EMP to be on the way.
Now they know sound barriers fail.
Yeah, they've seen that, obviously. Icon above Master's head, gleaning some valuable information. There's actually another support ultimate in the wings there for Iris as well. So here come the Rain. The Hunters are playing as if they're a little cagey. They know something's up. Leave is going to copy the Diva, which is definitely a more conservative decision. And Jinmu walks into the midst of them now. EMP, though, hits him. Did he get EMP'd out of his own EMP?
I believe so,
oh
yeah. I
my.
think they both went for it at the same time. Sound barrier after that. Death Blossom here as well.
Yeah, just a second earlier, Pelican, they're going to be grinning ear to ear as his itchier trigger finger is what yields the Rain a huge advantage in this fight. That's 2 checkpoints and counting now. Mech restored for Hawk. And where are the Hunters? Nowhere to be seen. Nice spike Gator. Drops right on top of anybody who was trying to jump in. It looks like Leave got knocked away.
Clean play from Atlanta.
Pelicans
again.
EMP, man. That is brutal.
I mean, that is, we know how good he is. Right? Rookie of the Year, he was an MVP candidate. I mean, that is a huge play there, right? Negates an EMP as you're walking on in. Sound barrier you have right after that. It's tough for any team to battle back from
timing,
that.
right? There's no way Pelican knows that Jinmu is about to strut straight into his cone of silence.
It's timing. It's also probably having an idea of what the other team has and just having a sense of when it's about to happen. But still, you don't plan that. That is not something you strategize to do. Get your EMP off faster.
So here's the question, right? Chengdu found their greatest success when hero pools dictated that, you know, people had to sort of deal with this Farah or this somber compositions, right? Yeah, that's so unfortunate. It really is very unlucky for Jinmu.
Well, the thing with Atlanta is, right, Chengdu, we know the kind of compositions they're good at. This is almost like the same type of situation for both teams. We know what both of these teams are good at. It's just that they kind of force their will and kind of come up with different ways to try and beat it.
Here's the question: how many stat categories is the 2021 MVP lead on the Hunters? Should we get involved at live, overwatchleague.com and at Pick Up Live? I don't even know that one, so just guess, I guess. Smile. Teehee.
Hey there.
I think when you kind of look at the way that they play, Atlanta is better at taking their strengths and beating the other teams than I feel like Chengdu is at doing that. I think Chengdu, they do it, and obviously this is really what they want to play, but they also just kind of get by sometimes, like by just raw like mechanical skill. Where I feel like in Atlanta, they're able to craft these strategies and kind of play as a team, and maybe what looks like an odd type of composition make work and be very effective, where other teams cannot do that.
What do you make of this then? Why? Is it not a bit risky to play so far forward now? You've created a situation where you're isolated from the rest of your team coming off respawn.
For who?
For Atlanta.
Yes. I think in the situation that you're in, though, like what half of the team doesn't get staggered, they make it out towards the high ground. The hope is that you have the players come off the respawn and like there's enough time to collapse. Obviously not the case here, though.
I mean, okay, so you shaved a minute off the time bank, but so I'm sure the idea for Atlanta is that they come out of that engagement much more cleanly, but it's really hard to take the Hunters by surprise. They've seen it all because they've visited that fate upon every other opponent. That's a great sleep from Far Away just before he was slept. And yep, clean up crews in. This is bad for the Rain. This is, how did Brent put it? Giga bad.
Yeah, it's just, it's going to be a, I mean, he doesn't even have to duplicate anybody at this point.
Right. Well, Leave there, just going to carve Hawk out of the mech. And I don't think Maridi Kai's in a position to get a look in here. Primal Rage and the Death Blossom are online, and an EMP. So Rain going to have to use everything to stay in the round here.
They nano Jinmu here. Was that intended for Jinmu?
Build EMP?
I almost think that was intended for Late Young, because Late Young gets demech'd here. Maybe Jinmu just kind of got in the way. I'd love to take a look from Far Away's point of view to see actually how that happened there.
Yeah. I mean, sure, I understand the idea of, nanoing the Sombra, making sure you can safely build an EMP if that's what you're trying to do.
I feel like he was already close, or had it.
I mean, I think he already had it.
Yeah, I think he already had it.
All right. Well, he has it. That's, again, something definitely worth bearing in mind in this next fight. Pelican looking for Far Away again. Finds the hack, but he's already got rid of Kai on the other side of the map here. So Far Away, how involved can he be now? His mobility isn't affected, of course, by getting hacked because he just doesn't have any. He's a granny. That's just the way it is. Leave knocked out a duplicate now, but crucially, the Hunters have forced a sound barrier out of the Atlanta Rain now, who are really standing their ground on point.
Yeah, and that nade was actually trying to go over to Late Young, and it doesn't hit him. Death Blossom comes in. Nice defense matrix there from Late Young, but still not enough to save Gaga.
Ooh, Leave vertically there. The sticky bombs clean Kai up, and Gaga's going to be rezzed. It's a swing of momentum now for the Chengdu Hunters. Late Young's going to get his mech back, and everything is in place. Now they push up here. Far Away builds that EMP. Excuse me, that nano booster. That's going to go to Leave this time around. He's actually here with that EMP. He's hacked at the moment, so we have to stay on the ground here, but has a good amount of damage mitigation, of course, can play from the high ground. Now he's not able to break up the remake, though, so Hawk is back in the suit.
Yeah, and you're going to have a coalescence here for the Atlanta Rain, so you can definitely still fight this. And a lot of times being dragged off this clock with these long fights.
Maybe Atlanta are okay with this, these drawn-out engagements. They're playing a healing composition that you think doesn't really want to go for a drawn-out fight, but this is how the Rain sort of stay involved. Iris is fine. No one can follow up on that one. And there's a lot of ultimate charge. Looking at Iris. Master actually has heal on, though, so that they're not worried about giving the Moira the charge. They're worried about making sure these topped up before the Hunters get back.
I mean, the Hunters have just taken fights so fast that you had no clue. I mean, they could have just charged right back in. A lot of ult here. Valkyrie, that's going to be an EMP there from Jinmu, only connects to 2.
Yeah, Pelican could have been in trouble there. He was slept again! You cannot be serious! I think that speaks for itself. Quite a tableau to end the round on.
We should get a look at that, though, because it looks like Hawk was maybe trying to come up. I don't think Hawk is one of the players that gets hit by the EMP, but if it does, maybe he just didn't have the ability to get back up.
You know what makes it worse? Is that the game goes into slow-mo. So not only do you know that you've made a critical error, but you're forced to live it for about 30% longer.
Yeah, you know you done goofed.
You're caught stuck in jello while you're just yelling at your teammates, oh, we didn't touch. Right, well, the Atlanta Reign, they dive very deeply. They're trying to obviously go
It's the right play.
for the Ana.
If Gator does not get hit by the EMP, he pops Prime. Let's take a look at this. Hawk does get hit by the EMP. He can't go.
Oh, he dropped down. I think he realizes that these...
Oh, it looked... Who was that? I think that was Iris, who actually... I think Iris actually maybe thought he contested for a sec. Because he kind of walks on that ledge, and he's feeling Hawk underneath. Maybe he thought he put a foot on it, but...
There was no foot on it, it turns out. Okay, well... Look, the Atlanta Reign looked in decent shape there. They were about to start a fight, which you think goes well after they pluck far away out of the midst of the Hunters lineup. Still, the rest is history now. They are going to go on even footing in time bank.
Essentially same time, right? Chengdu's going to get 3 seconds extra. Atlanta's offense was very good, though. Let's see if they can replicate that.
It was brisk, wasn't it? The pace with which they dismantled the Hunters. Chengdu were playing a little more cannily here.
It looks like it's developing the same way, though. Kind of posturing up on the bridge. That's a Hawk that hack that goes on a Hawk. You're going to be able to just kind of make a play after this.
Kai had to Wraith Walk maybe prematurely there as he's getting tickled by Gaga most of the time.
They get a hack on a Leave. Yeah,
beautiful.
He's done.
Leave just hovers a little bit too close. Pelican just reveals himself, and yeah, this fight goes much the same way as it did the last time we were here.
And having the Sombra versus the Echo is such an advantage as compared to having the Sombra try. Like, imagine if you're Chengdu, right? Having the Sombra hack the Reaper isn't having the same effect, right? You're not going to just burn the Reaper down. Reaper's going to be you don't want to run it. So right there, that's kind of a weakness in Echo's kit, where once you get the hack on her, she falls to the ground. Very squishy. Also, it's almost like a 2-for-1, right? There's a decent chance you're going to get the Mercy there as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so the Hunters want to try and start this one off early, but I mean, they go for the more durable end of the Atlanta Reign here as they move on to the point with the Coalescence, mind you. So Jimmu needs to build this EMP quickly. Cutting through Master will be a good start here, and yeah, there it'll be 5 players hit by that one. And Hunters looks like they found the antidote to this insidious Atlanta Reign contagion to make their way into their point.
Pelican uses EMP here as well, or did he actually get EMP'd out of his EMP this time by Jinmu? So both players around the same area using that ultimate yet again. So
it's wild.
Wild circumstances here in this match. And Nisha going over to the break. Just a little bit more help to try and keep far away alive, right? That's kind of the goal for this next fight.
Time is ticking. One more attempt is what the Atlanta Reign have to work with here, and Leave is still playing aggressive, posturing, and that's Gator hit with a whip shot as soon as he touches down, but Farway gets a little too close, maybe. Gator wants to go. He wants to harass this backline, but he's worried about his own. Kai's traded out there, but Leave is taken off the table, and Jinmu's gone. There's no DPS left for the Chengdu Hunters. Leave has a duplicate, though. If he can get back into the fight in time, he can copy a durable tank and keep his team in the fight. Gator comes out of Primal Rage there without finding a kill, and it's the Biotic Grenade from far away that really is going to hurt him in the morning. Hawk there slept as he tries to cross the point, and Masa hacked. Everything lining up for the Chengdu Hunters here to take this away. No one's there to follow up on the EMP, and Iris fades a little too late.
Yeah, and Kai not being able to get a good use of the Death Blossom off, so not able to use it there. They do get that third point. No progress on the second one, though. So
initiating match.
Really, for Atlanta, you're relying on trying to get this full hold to win the map.
And now, perhaps, their thoughts drift to what could have been if they don't allow the Chengdu Hunters over the threshold. Perhaps they're focusing here on how to put the full hold together. Look, no mean feat against any team on any day on the Temple of Anubis. No less so here against the Hunters, who just have a real killer instinct and the ferocity when they go forward. One of the most aggressive teams in the league, and it's very hard to deny them those hard-sought objectives.
So not going to play the Reaper here. You're going to play Tracer if you're the Atlanta Reign. So gives you a little bit more mobility, a little bit more pressure onto Farway. Maybe they think he's being left a little bit too open. So I wonder if Nisha comes out and plays this Brig, though. That would be a little bit of a change of pace for the offense. Playing the Brig here would definitely give Atlanta a little bit more trouble, right, with running the Sombra and the Tracer.
They want to threaten the dive punish as well. The Reign, that's the gear that they seem to want to play in. So this info gets relayed back via Pelican, who's on the front lines. Wartime correspondent. Hack on far away, connects, Sleep doesn't. Pelican harasses now, and he's out.
Okay, get some EMP progress here. So Gator gonna get out here just barely. As Iris getting low, Atlanta's gonna have to back up. They have a few too many players low, and Chengdu realizes that. They're gonna go and try to take control of the point.
Okay. Here comes Gator over the top. Bubble thrown down, hack on Gaga. He's able to jump away eventually, and far away to defensive body grenade there. So the Reign have a chance, but again, they need to strike quickly. A long fight is going to benefit their opposition. So it was written. So it plays out. Nice pulse bomb there from Kylo, getting rid of Nisha, and far away again has to deploy another hasty defensive biotic grenade. Lei Young is here though with the nano boost now, and that's the conservative option, right? Keep the Diva topped up and nice and durable.
Is Pelican trying to build up towards an EMP. Gonna get close to it here. So Chengdu. Oh, you're gonna see a contest here from Atlanta. Yeah, they want to fight this. Okay, so Gator's back in the mix. You have Pelican with an EMP. He gets slapped.
Just because you Pelican doesn't mean you Pella should, Matthew. Still, he's gonna pick himself up. EMP is an option here, but so much of the Reign have been blown up there. Pelican gets leave, and that's it. So, WinCon is set for the Chengdu Hunters. One tick on point B will yield them the map win.
Oh, and they're going to take out Kai here. Let's see if they can make a push out of this, because they have a lot of ultimates. The rally to be able to use in the EMP. Both of these Sombras just battling back and forth with the EMPs constantly throughout this series.
Yeah. This could be volatile. They're going to come at the same time here. For certain. Jimu looked like he revealed himself there by attempting a hack, so we can't drop back into cloak for another second or so. And it's the Primal Rage Gator, but he gets caught out there. The Atlanta Reign maybe bite off a little bit more than they can chew, trying to be proactive in this scenario. And ooh, Masa's lucky to get away alive. He must stay alive. He's got the sound barrier that would otherwise keep the Reign in this fight. Hawk is removed. And of course that self-destruct doesn't find too much here. Remember, one tick is all the Hunters need, and Matt, they're eyeing it off, and they're looking close.
And Jinmu still has this EMP. I think he was holding onto it for that sound barrier that was coming out, but might not even need it. Now the EMP comes out. Masa's going to drop that sound barrier. Atlanta's not out.
Two people get caught by that one. It's only Hawk and Masa. A self-destruct from Lei Young clears plenty of space, and Masa trying to keep things stalled out. Kai is there on the tracer, but for how long is the question? And Ira is trying to tickle from the back line. All he can do is provide a short distraction, as the Hunters will not be denied. They even up the series here on the Temple of Anubis. It's a fast-paced, competitive map, but the Atlanta Reign, obviously, the big old Charlie 9 really cost them.
Yes, Chengdu, they take control of, really take care of business, right? Winning their map pick, evening up this series. I think what you learned about Atlanta is that they can play some of these like faster paced compositions if they need to, although it's really not their bread and butter.
Either way, this series is still shaped up to be much more exciting, much closer than the last time we saw these teams go head-to-head. The Atlanta Reign now, they're no longer in, in Hawaii for some bragging points, some extra league points. No, they have all of those they need. Now their eye is on the prize, the biggest prize, of course. And in their way stand the Pandas, unwilling to give any ground. Stick around, everybody. It's going to be a tight series, one way or the other. Don't go too far.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Go to takemetomanoa.org today.
Hi there, this is Benjamin Jolafé, but you may know me as BenBest. As you know, I'm an excellent painter. What you may not know is that I'm also a really good looking spokesman for the Overwatch League. While you will never have both my skills and my look, what you can have are Overwatch League perks. All you have to do is connect your Battle.net account with your YouTube account while you watch the Overwatch League playoffs and you will start earning League tokens. Normally, that would be enough, but hey, it's the playoff. And you have got a nice face. So here's what I can do for you. For every 3 hours of Overwatch League playoffs you watch, you can earn 3 new Overwatch League skins. That is 9 new skins, all for doing what you were going to do anyway. Watch your favorite, but relatively okay looking Overwatch League teams battle through the playoffs. So take it from me, BenBest. Connect your accounts, watch the Overwatch League playoffs, and level your game up today. Au revoir, et bon match.
All right, now that we're done swooning, we can return to the business at hand, which is a tight series between the Atlanta Reign and the Chengdu Hunters. The winner moves on to take on the Dallas Fuel, Matthew, in the upper semis. The loser moves on to face the Washington Justice. No easy games from here on out.
No easy games in these playoffs overall, as you see there by the scoreline on Temple of Anubis. The Atlanta Reign, they decide to take us to Kings Row for the next map. Not too surprising. This is a very good Reinhardt map. You can play aggressive if you wanted to play even versus Sigma, which we've seen the Atlanta Reign do in the past, right? You can play that here in a meta that's quite open, as it seems thus far. There's a lot of different variation you can do, but Atlanta seems home on Kings Row. It's a map that really plays into what they want to do.
Yeah, it's unclear whether teams are really going to try and play much Sigma. We saw it from Void, of course, from the Shanghai Dragons on this map, but it was late in the map, and
it was with Orisa.
Right, exactly. The Atlanta Reign, though, were the team that were trying to push the envelope of playing Sigma Orisa versus the really heavily tooled dive compositions, right? They were one of the teams that said, no, we actually think that, you know, we can beat this composition with Orisa Sigma. Now, I guess what Chengdu are bringing, it's not just the double bubble or a Lucio Moira dive. No, it's just a very special brand of Overwatch. Yeah, it's a good chance that the bunker composition is not well suited to it. This is more what I was expecting, right? This is the classic start of the year look that puts the Atlanta Reign's players on some of their most comfortable positions. Pelican was possibly the best Echo in the world at the time that he was playing a lot of it, but his Tracer is just phenomenal as well. And I like this Rush Reinhardt look from the Reign.
Yeah, and something we've seen from Atlanta in the past a lot with this type of thing is, you know, potentially even pulling out the Torbjorn, right? We've seen them use the Torb.
This with Edison a lot of the time in there, but we've seen Kai obviously play plenty of Torb.
Yeah, Kai plays a lot of the Torb. So, no changes in terms of the supports yet again here for Chengdu. So it really tells you they want to play with this Ana Mercy combination. It's a very, we haven't seen many teams commit this hard to the, like...
It's the Sigma that's most interesting for me.
Yeah, the Sigma as well.
So look, yeah, often with, look, if you have Farah Mercy, you have Ana, right? That's pretty standard.
Atlanta must be like, what? Where do we even go?
Yeah, I think, okay, so they want a strong pivot on this high ground, right? Lei Young's had to concede that now because of the pressure he's suffering. He needs to try and protect this res, and he just about does it. And he punishes Master for going too deep. That's what Sigma can offer you here, Matt. Can really just play very solid and stave off this aggression.
Yes, the Sigma, you really want to just try and take that high ground. Maybe it's like to just give Leave a spot to play on as the Hangzhou, but he's over to Tracer as they're not trying to take advantage of this opening they have now. This should be 2 ticks. Lana will give that up. Lana now in a spot to make a play. You see Kai lurking through the backside there. Probably going to go to the high ground.
Pelican's looking dangerous. Farway doesn't have the mobility to avoid this, and he gets pinned by both DPS. But, okay, Kai needs to make his presence felt elsewhere now. Farway has a tough job in this series, Matt, because Pelican's gunning for him, and even Kai treks across the map to deal with the Ana.
Yes, that'll be Atlanta getting a hold finally. With the switch to Tracer, you can move away from Sigma. They're gonna res the Sigma though.
What does Sigma do against the Tracer? Hope to hit an accretion? Luckily, it's hard.
Well, what does the Sigma do to your own Tracer? It made a little bit of sense when you had the Hangzhou to be able to kind of control the high ground with Hangzhou, but now with your own Tracer,
Extra layer of protection for Farway, but Deeper offers you that, ostensibly.
I think the only reason you're currently Solana is because you have a Flux.
Iris blown to smithereens by Jinmu, who gets the nano boost after the fact, and well, Max good on that investment. Kai is removed, and that stonks. 3 kills for Jinmu in the fight.
Yeah, so Chengdu able to take it without having to burn the Flux. Just get a nano onto Jinmu, get a Valkyrie going, and you're in a good shape. Iris trying to get out with his life, not going to be able to do so. So nice stagger there from Chengdu.
All right, Atlanta would like to play as far forward here as they can, but look at how many Hunters players are playing right outside the Foundry. You've got Lee, Jinmu, and Nisha all trying to make it, so the Rain can't, get the jump on this and, try and play in that first choke the Cart's already passed through. Interesting. The Rain are waiting for a full grouping before they even dare to venture out. And then no leaves here.
He's going to have to burn recall to basically get this, and he's out of blinks. And that is so dangerous.
Leave though is able to find himself in a spot now where he can actually peel for Farway. Sees a Reinhardt's explodes rump and gets clapped. Gator swings down. I don't think Gator expected to catch that. Yeah. This is like getting shot out of a cannon and finding bugs in your teeth. Just part of the job, I guess.
That was the Flux that you're holding on to. And you just use it after they soundbite. You're already down with a player or two. There's no chance of following it up. Now we switch to Diva. So yeah, you were just on the Sigma to use that Flux, which you've wasted kind of 2 minutes of playing an optimal comp to get a Flux off that really wasn't impactful. So
sure.
I get it though. With the comp that Atlanta's playing, they have to play close together. Maybe there is an opportunity for a big Flux, but right there it doesn't really work out.
That's a pretty solid shadow, catching Nisha crucially. Nisha's able to pick himself up though and get a Valkyrie in play. That's pretty impressive stuff. Kaida's able to pick Leave off.
I mean, that is more effective than Deadeye.
Yep, 100%.
I mean,
Deadeye's a crutch. Kai taking down by Jinmu though, whose barrage again is looking real good. Man, if it's not Leave, it's Jinmu that comes alive in these maps. So hard to keep the Hunters down.
And Jinmu's had a sick year as well. Obviously Leave in terms of the damage dealing gets a lot of the love, and rightfully so. I believe it was Emily who said that. She was talking to the Chengdu coaching staff, and that Jinmu's made like some of the biggest jump really from last year to this year in terms of play. And I totally see how they see that as well. I mean, you remember Jinmu for like making some of these like weird plays and decisions. We haven't seen that this year.
Yeah, we felt like Jinmu was proficient but limited in terms of.
And now he just gets caught with a Deadeye.
Yeah, well, turns out a Deadeye is as good as just shooting a Tracer. Again, look, against the Pharah Mercy comp, it's hard to dump that altitude. You can't really control your fall speed as Pharah.
Oh, I was. You know what was about to come out of my mouth? I was gonna say maybe Jinmu stopped this because they got them off the Genji 24/7, and as soon as I say it, he makes the Genji swap. All right.
You mean stopped making questionable decisions because they switched off the Genji?
Yeah, because he hadn't played a ton of Genji.
Can we evaluate this Genji in the environment of
Jinmu's Genji is very good. Yeah. They have the potential to nano him. They are going to play the Genji. That's kind of the game plan here.
All right, I like it. Over the rooftops he goes. Okay, caught there by Hawk briefly, who is actually looking for Gaga.
If Kai's taking you out on the far though, and you got a Mercy, he's going to kill you on the Genji.
I have a bad feeling about the Genji. Okay, so
yeah,
look,
okay.
This is pretty astute though. If you can identify if something's not working,
it was not going to work. It was not going to work. This is a good call. Jinmu's Pharah has been very effective. There was no reason to mess with the Genji.
And Matrix there, he sees the McCree. Kai's inside an immortality field, which Jinmu probably tried to knock him out of there. It's a miracle Kai survived as long as he did, really, but eventually he had to succumb. Gator is not able to do much from that position. Yeah, he's caught away from the car.
The cart's moving. Yeah,
Pelican has to do something
the whole time, yeah.
EMP was waiting there for Gators. He got around the corner, but the sound barrier was in play, and Pelican, that's a perfect candidate to receive the pulse bomb. Not the blessing I think that Farway was looking for, but it's bestowed nonetheless. And there it is, Atlanta managed to come up with the goods. It's not over yet though, of course, because Lei Young is still surging ahead, and Hawk needs to try and stall this car, but there's a mine behind him, doesn't see it. He's going to be desuited after getting hacked. And it looks like the Hunters are going to get across the line. Okay, they keep it interesting here, Chengdu.
That is a very close fight. Pelican starts things off with a nice pulse bomb on the far away, but he actually gets the nano off right before he gets killed by that pulse bomb. So Gaga's going to go to the Orisa, so very interesting. Okay, so they're going to have Orisa plus the Hangzhou, so they want to play slower than Atlanta. And, they want to play slower than Atlanta and just trying to focus on just consistent damage, poke damage, really making it difficult.
I was about to ask if Kai ever missed, and I guess he does to give Nisha a bit of false hope before he's taken down by the bomb. I think Lee thought that Kai cancelled there, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
Also, as far as Hangzhou, you think you can pick into anything because you know you can loose the arrow and be behind the wall by the time the enemy realizes.
Big opportunity for Chengdu here. Valkyrie, the ability to nano barrage potentially. Pelican could disrupt all of that though with another big pulse bomb.
Last time it was far away that he caught before the EMP. This time Jinmu just catches himself. Pulse was there. Good damage on the Hunters. Lei Young is able to get back in mech and claim Masa dabbling in, I guess, things well above his ken.
Oh, the Valkyrie is so clutch.
Big sleep. He gets away though. Pelican somehow gets out and just goes straight for Gaga. He knew exactly what he had to do. In fact, all the sleep did, Matt, was give him some time to plan his next diabolical move. But Farway's going to be a tough target for him to deal with now, especially with Leave returning.
I mean, he's trying to deal with 8 targets. I mean, he's got a sleep dart coming at him. Hangzhou storm arrows. I mean, Pelican so far out of the fight, though.
They're not able to really intervene there as the Hunters just muscle that Rain off the cart. And that's it. We're in overtime here where the Hunters have a real shot at finishing the map. They're going to be walking into a Deadeye, a self-destruct, a pulse bomb, and potentially a sound barrier. No mean feat, to be sure. Oh, that's a D-Mech. Yeah, nicely done. Kai catches Lei Young. His feet's poking out from under the cart, apparently. The Pelican's removed by Leave. He finds the body shot to get the kill, and Gators out of the picture. And this is dangerous times for the Atlanta Reign. Jinmu's able to deftly sidestep from that. And Chengdu are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's Hawk, the only one up here. Is maybe Pelican going to get back into the fight, but this is looking all Chengdu as they've done a fantastic job bringing this one back. Sound barrier available, though.
Pelican goes in, another pulse bomb. It gets on to the supercharger. And now the Wrecking Ball's here for Gator. He's knocked off course and off the map as a result. Lei Young, what a fantastic connection. We call that a home run out here. And the Chengdu Hunters get the map done.
Leave showing why he's the MVP there late when he switches over to the Hangzhou. Like 3 fights in a row, able to take out Pelican on the Tracer. Makes the rest of the team's life so much easier.
Such an unlikely occurrence as well. Hangzhou's often don't even trouble themselves with trying to remove Tracers because they're so slippery, and yet Leave knows that that's the kind of meal he can finish.
And the ability to trust Leave to be able to come up with those kills, right? He doesn't have to go play the Cowboy, he can play Hangzhou. That gives them an even bigger advantage, right? Once Pelican's out of the equation, they can start dealing with shields, especially when you're playing the Orisa.
Chengdu switch over towards the Orisa look map, but look no less aggressive. They really look to try and play with plenty of pace, despite that. It's frustrating for Gator because especially the longer sight lines usually means that he has no shield by the time he gets close enough to Gaga to really swing at him. Frustrating to be sure. Nice adaptation here.
Let's see this from Lei Young's POV. What do we got here?
Yep. The Wrecking Ball.
Goodbye.
I mean, what do you do? Gator, you've already queued up the power drive because there's obviously a brief animation as the ball spins up.
Junkrat. As soon as I said they got Jinmu off of the craziness, we saw a one-spawn Genji swap and now a Junkrat here. I am the ultimate caster.
I mean,
if there's anybody, though, who can pull the Junkrat off, it would be Jake or Jinmu.
You've got a better chance of curing Stupid than curing Jinmu's desire to play crazy hero.
Atlanta sees this and they go double shield. This has now become a very interesting matchup. I did not expect both of these teams to end up in this type of wheelhouse. So Echo Mercy with Atlanta, and they're going to play the Bath because you're playing the Orisa a little bit slower. The Hunters still keep the Ana. Who is the nano target here?
There it is.
Nano Diva, Orisa. If I see a nano Junkrat, I mean, I'm going to lose
a limited inclination here to play Baptiste from far away.
Well, right. I mean, you would play the Baptiste. I mean, that's that makes sense with the comp.
Gate is getting boomed. Jinwoo's just chilling.
I mean, think about it, amped Junkrat grenades, right?
It's an utter fusillade of grenades just raining.
All right, so we got this Nano. This has to be like just an emergency boost heal onto like Gaga if they jump on him.
I think
like,
Lei Young probably gets it as well. He's been the target for far away in those more defensive scenarios so far.
I like this from Chengdu from the standpoint that they're just making Atlanta just veer so far away from what the game plan probably was. That's when it starts to favor Chengdu, right? We haven't been to the Chengdu zone in a while.
But we're getting a healthy one right now.
Yeah, there's the Nano Diva. No Nano Junkrat.
I like that it can help you threaten the Mercy. Look at this. Lei Young just outputting a large amount of damage now. The Orisa shield of Gate is largely circumvented, but Gaga goes a little bit too far. That shield is down as well. And this is a comfortable composition for the Atlanta Range here, but the Riptire gets Hawk, the D-Mecha Gaga's brought back into the fight. Nice shot.
Okay.
Master's able to reciprocate though. Both Orisas are back in play.
But you get Hawk here. Oh no, there we go. It's gonna be Leave now going over to Tracer. I don't think there's a chance that they come back and fight this. So yeah, he'll switch immediately to Hangzhou, and you're gonna have the Hunters playing for the second part of the map now. They're gonna give up this point.
So I think that obviously this is an odd look for Chengdu, but it's not the first time we've seen this, right? This is the kind of flexibility that Gaga got, rave reviews about when he joined this team, right? And we knew that Hunters wouldn't just be playing Wrecking Ball all the time, even though he's played more than we maybe thought still.
Well, I mean, he's even considered like the better Wrecking Ball, right? All things
yeah, it's close.
Talked about.
It's
yeah,
close,
I mean,
but yes, he is considered better than Amon. Yeah.
People were saying he is the best Wrecking Ball. So.
He's about third as far as statistics are concerned right now.
Dodges, ends up dodging the Dragon there. The Jinwoo with just an assassination here on the Junkrat.
Yeah, he's playing from the shadows here,
and he's got a trap in the doorway, so they can't exactly just run in.
I mean, you can really control this space right now, and you're against like a low mobility. No. Okay, G3's on the juice, Matt.
It wouldn't.
He's on the juice.
No, it wouldn't be right if we sent this game off, in what could be the final tournament with a little bit of Jinwoo
Chengdu
juice,
couldn't claim they've done it their way unless they played this composition. Look, it's just hard to do anything to
Dragon.
Gator.
That's going to separate Gator off, yeah.
He's actually got Kai right there with him though, so it's really just the range being split in two, and Gator can really protect Kai. Pelican,
hello.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes you want to duplicate the Orisa. Sometimes you want to experience this high-octane gameplay on Orisa. He throws the supercharger down.
Everybody's bongo. That's a double bongo. Is that double bongo from the Atlanta Rain?
Yeah. Yeah. There it is. More bongos than a beatnik poetry slam, Matthew.
Well, hold on. This is doable. Gaga is coming on a flank on the Orisa here.
Pelican.
Okay, no, you lost some of the other members. I thought this was doable, but Jinwoo, he's going to give himself up. Chengdu's got to change. I mean, you've been on this for too long. Now they have Leave, switch off.
Good, at least you're saying they have to change instead of saying, I can fix them. That's good.
Okay, so Ash Hangzhou here for the Hunters. I thought they were going to play the Echo Hangzhou, which just mirror them, right? And then Faraway is going to play Zen.
This is definitely, this is what I expected to see Faraway play more of, especially with Monk on this roster, right? The Zen Mercy, double sniper, it's fascinating.
This is like season 1.
I mean, I talk about Chengdu like I'm looking at a bloody Petri dish, right? Because everything they do is so...
It's so
curious.
Interesting, yeah.
Right. Gaga, okay, Leave gets caught there by Kai. He is just bounding forward now, sees the Zen, respects it a little bit. Not too much.
When you are playing an Orisa composition, right? Let's just talk about this for a second. When you're playing an Orisa composition, obviously it's going to be very stationary. Yep. She's about as stationary as you can get outside of, like, Bastion, right?
Ironic because she has 4 legs, but yeah, carry on.
At that point, Immortality Field is higher value than even I mean when they're playing the Ana, right? What are the nano targets?
Matthew,
like the Immortality Field is so much more impactful than any of those anything they could have done there.
So, are you extolling the virtues of AoE healing in close together formations, right?
Yeah.
Ready for
I mean, yeah.
The capabilities of having the Batiste there would have been so.
Yeah, all right.
Now they're going to play it on D. I would have loved to see this at the beginning. I think this really could have helped Chengdu's comp. I think having the Ana Mercy at the start and then going to Zen Mercy was a mistake. I think you could go back and get a little bit of a redo there for Chengdu. They would have went to the BAB.
Yeah.
I mean, just there alone in this sequence, Gaga would be alive. You'd have an immortality field there. He'd be pumping him with heals in the corner. He'd at least be able to stand his ground more, right? Because with Gator, you having the Batiste, it's just a huge advantage. Let's see. This is a biotic grenade over the top.
We wanted to see Farway's Batiste though, so we're going to get that here, even if it's a little bit late for your liking.
Yep. And the only difference here is no Echo for Chengdu. They're going to play Leave on the Ash, so really prioritizing taking Pelican out.
Kai playing to the right of the statue here needs to be careful. Yeah, Master's keeping him topped up, so no dramas there. He gets the perfect position to play from there. Now, can he convert?
Looks like Chengdu's trying to wrap.
What? Storm Arrow? Leave? Rezzed immediately. Nothing says MVP like hitting the ground and being rezzed straight away.
They realize they have to take out the Rookie of the Year in Pelican, and Atlanta realizes the exact opposite. They need to take out the MVP and leave. It's a battle here, at least at the start, that Chengdu is going to win.
Kai gets brought back into the fight here, but Chengdu has a pretty comfortable advantage and a health pack right there. Slow start for Atlanta now as that Batiste looks pretty good for Farway. Okay.
Yeah. Batista's a pretty good hero. Especially when you're playing compositions like this. Now, the Ana is great. I mean, I think it's just frustrating from the standpoint of, if you're a Chengdu fan, right? This map is very winnable. Nice halt. And a dragon comes up there. I mean,
this is great. I mean, Jindu's playing so aggressive from this position. Iris gets resurrected here, but that's a res already burned. Nisha with the Valk brings Leave back. Now there are no more resurrects. I'm almost certain of it.
That Amp Matrix is quite odd there. As, maybe it was supposed to be angled the other way to get across the point.
I think Farway's expecting a push through the hotel.
Yeah, or maybe the hotel, right? Yeah. Supercharge it down, though. This is going to deter them from coming in.
I mean, Nisha just got picked off there, which is huge.
That's a nice bomb.
And Rezzers are probably coming back online the next few seconds. And Nisha not being here is brutal. He has to switch to Lucio. And he's going to be on the point in time.
They get Gator low, and they're going to take him out.
Yeah, you see Hawk quickly trying to get that defense matrix over to Arissa, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Raid get it done. They finish that point A, and they're going to be taking King's Row. Look, they look pretty comfortable doing it. I think Chengdu made some interesting decisions towards the end. Maybe they're trying some stuff out. Maybe it was nervousness. That seems less likely.
No.
But the Rain go ahead in this series and setting up a potential map point.
I think this potentially goes the distance, though. Chengdu looked really good on that map when they were playing, the compositions we know they're good at. And I think just making that subtle change of having Farway playing the Batiste instead of the Ana in that type of composition makes a huge difference. Would not be shocked if we see a fifth map.
You're asking for it, though, if you try to take Atlanta Rain to this kind of map, or they take you there and you try and play Arissa Sigma against them. That's definitely their bread and butter for this Western Division team. And so Atlanta have showed us they can play Moira Lucio. They can play Lucio Batiste, and of course they can play this sort of bunker-style comp with the Sigma and the Arissa. So plenty of looks from them. The Hunters are similarly flexible, but can they execute on this plethora of different compositions? Stick around and find out as the Hunters try and stay alive now. It's them on the plank. Let's see if the Rain can walk them off.
Break. Okay, secure point. Focus.
Nice shot.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Seoul Dynasty, they're about to do it, Seth. They could just reverse sweep right here.
나 이거 천천히 해요. 천천히.
Field nearly available to try to create some space and get them off the card. But that being said, Void is gone, Fate is dead, the Mines are not going to do anything, and as you say, that should be it.
Outlaws have done it! We thought they'd be kissing the ring, but they forced the Kings to bend the knee!
Uncle, you're the best main pick in the world now!
And up on the high ground, it could be a problem. Ooh, New York getting aggressive. They're not going to wait. They're just going to go for it. I don't think Philly was expecting this.
Now Rascal, but no! They didn't get the point!
We couldn't get on there.
You gotta be kidding me! Another big bomb over the top, pushing them away. Dallas on the brink of destruction here. The Shanghai Dragons have done it. An absurd series of events. They've come back and look at the sheer joy on their faces. They can hardly believe what they've achieved.
Seoul Dynasty, they're about to do it, Seth. They could just reverse sweep right here. Unreal scenes, a complete reverse sweep. They deny Philadelphia Fusion as well. That clean record of 4-0 going into the Countdown Cup as well.
Nice.
More. Nice. Total domination.
Hey, calm down.
See you guys tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
It's all on the line here. Keeping Doha healthy is definitely going to be a top priority. He's hacked again! Coalescence, pressuring him out. Can he get away? Today, those that burn blue, burn brightest.
But the Chengdu Hunters, they're winning this one out. Muse has fallen. Birdering, oh, he's going to be next on the list. There you go, taken out straight away. It's going to be desperation now for the Gladiators.
Turning it with his Ant Matrix.
With the Ant Matrix on the back. Jinmu's been taken out. I don't believe that. You have got to be kidding me. The Los Angeles Gladiators are going to be taking away the Countdown Cup Finals.
The Titans that were moved onto the point up, 37 down. Faith has also been removed. The Uprising are capitulating here.
Turn me now. Turn one.
By to you. Prophet is alive. He's got that pulse bomb. It's you is going to be demeched, and Jin moves right back into the fray as Yamato finds the miracle res.
Stop me!
And the Chengdu Hunters, they have defeated the Seoul Dynasty. They have stopped them from taking this series out from beneath them. They have victory in front of a Chinese audience.
And so, this Atlanta Reign team are poised. One more map against the Chengdu Hunters and they'll secure their matchup with the Dallas Fuel tomorrow. A team they know better by now than almost anybody else in the league.
I like when you say this Atlanta Reign team. Like there's another Atlanta Reign somewhere. Maybe in another universe, right?
Yeah, you know, I believe in multiverse theory.
Yeah, I watched a YouTube video about it once.
Yeah.
So I know
there's like 10 billion universes and only one of them will you make it out of this room.
Yeah, maybe in this one universe is the universe in which the Atlanta Reign wins the league this year. It's possible. I think in a situation, right, you win this, you don't have to play, right, because Gladiators would play Shanghai. You know, you would say Dallas is the opponent you would want to play out of those three, right?
Yes, well,
it's definitely doable to make the final, or the at least the winners finals.
Look, I think we had definitely concerns about how well the condition of the Dallas Fuel coming into their match, and even at the beginning of it, and even Rush went on record saying that he didn't feel like they were in great shape as a roster right now. So I think if there is one of the gazelles in the field that want to yell out, "I am limping" to the cheetah, then they're probably gonna take advantage of that. You know what I mean? If survival at the end of the day.
You know, one of those teams in that what should be a bloodbath of a match between Shanghai and the Gladiators. Now, you make it through a match like that, you may not have a lot of gas in the tank going forward, right? I mean, that's going to be a sick game. The
Glads missed out on that matchup, right? They turn up to the Countdown Cup, guns blazing, rolling 20 deep at the 303. What is it? What's the area code for Miami?
305.
The 305. Yeah, rolling 20 deep with the homies, and then Shanghai is conspicuously absent because they were quote unquote taking a break, which we now know to be true because they look very good. But the Gladiators never got that matchup. They're definitely looking for it. And they may well get it even more than once potentially, as this is double elimination. Dorado is our next map in this series, and again, it's a chance for the Atlanta Reign to snap the series up right here and now, or force a map 5 if you're the Hunters.
I think what Atlanta has that some of these other teams don't have, though, is we've seen enough of them now that they can cause problems for teams that want to play aggressive with the compositions they have. It may not be the optimal way to do it, but it seems to work for Atlanta. They have strategies kind of tailored out, and they have the damage dealers to be able to pull it off, to where you get in a series and you're a team that, you know, plays very fast, like a Chengdu or, you know, like a Shanghai, let's say. And who knows, right? It's an unknown, where you know if you're going to go up against a team that's going to play similar compositions, mirrors, you kind of have a better idea on your win conditions.
The Atlanta Reign and Hunters couldn't play more differently a lot of the time, but we definitely saw them, you know, come to a similar consensus on King's Row about well, okay, maybe outside of the Genji and then the Farah, then the Junkrat, and then the Junkrat, and then back to the Farah. Outside of that, they play pretty similarly. Here on Dorado, of course, you know, the map will definitely dictate the composition. The Hunters want to play, I like this is pretty powerful, right? You play this dive composition, you play close, you burn clock, and it's frustrating for defenders to deal with this. Pelican has to know what's waiting on the rooftops.
Do we see this? This is a new wrinkle for Atlanta if Gator comes out with the ball, right? We haven't really seen Atlanta play compositions like this.
Very little of the ball from Gator.
Very little of the ball.
But we've seen him play Winston in this series, we've seen him play Ryan, we've seen him play Orisa.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how good your map is, Matt, but I think he's covering a lot of those main tank roles.
They get far away here at the beginning. They're going to actually be able to take out Gator and get the res. That's huge.
Yeah, if they keep this up, this could actually be a pretty short map here. And this is oppressive for defenders to fight against this, right? That high ground control, the constant dive pressure. Jinmu is very low right now, and Hawk is trying to chase Nisha down. He gets his prey. Hawk may be forced to pay for it with his mech, but I think he'll be happy enough there.
He's not.
That's rude. That's unreal.
He has been, every time we've seen Chengdu, they play the Farah, they have the Mercy, whether it's Echo in the sky. Hawk has just been such a nuisance to those heroes and players. It's really made a difference in allowing Atlanta to play the style that they want.
One of the top offensive divas in the league is Hawk. Again, trading in survivability for raw impact, and yeah, far away had one left where he was standing. A steaming crater.
That only gets 2, that EMP.
Is that enough? Gator looks like he's going to be able to trundle away from this one, and Kai threatening on the Tracer, by the way, forces Gaga to jump all the way out of this fight. He'll have to walk back. It's a long way to go.
Yeah, so you end up using the EMP there and Valkyrie for Chengdu, and you do not get a hold. So Atlanta coming out, really showing a lot of versatility. Being able to play the ball compositions now is a new wrinkle. We've seen them play Winston. This is a team that, you know, they start to get good at compositions like this. Where do you take this team to get a huge advantage, right?
Atlanta kind of playing everything here, refusing to be sort of shackled by the assumption or their sort of desire to play those slower compositions here. I think Fawa knew what was coming for him there. He gets the nano boost away as quickly as he can to Gaga, who is able to use that to farm a primal in the back line, but it won't be necessary. His leave has already ripped his way through the back line of the Reign.
Pelican uses a duplicate here. He gets the primal, but it's going to be worth anything. You're going to have both supports back here for Atlanta, so this is actually winnable. This is turnable for Atlanta.
Pelican, I mean, that's huge. Hawk finds Nisha again. Lead copying a Tracer here. I suppose for survivability purposes, it's fine, but the Pulse Bomb doesn't really connect. Maybe you wanted something a bit more familiar, but they've lost Gaga as well, and this Pelican Echo, we're reminded now of why he is considered such a top player.
You see Hawk just firing, spot checking for Jinmu, knows he's around, knows he has an EMP. Who is the target here? Looks like he's looking up in the sky, maybe towards... oh, but they're just waiting for the perfect time, and look at this, they get D-Macked and they lose Leave. They're going to res Leave, but now you don't have a D.Va, and there's no follow-up.
Gaga slept on the card.
Yeah.
I mean, Master had Valk if he had to use it, so even if there was follow-up to the EMP, it would not have been enough.
This is such a good look for Atlanta. Being able to play this against Chengdu, who is very good at these types of comps, right? With, you know, the MVP, Jinmu, obviously a fantastic damage dealer in his own right. This is an impressive showing from Atlanta.
Kai just emotionless there as well. You see his eyes flicking to his health bar, to the enemies, to his ultimate charge. He's locked in right now, and the Atlanta Reign are looking better than they ever have. Pelican goes for the duplication of the Winston here. He'll get some time to build ult.
And that's a really nice minefield there from Gator, as it just kind of blocks the entrance coming out of the spawn for the supports and other people, as Nisha gets punished there yet again by Hawk.
The Pelican gets like 2 seconds of primal. He uses it to knock Nisha out of position, straight into Hawk's waiting arms. Love the little 1-2 punch there. Really elegant solution to Mercy's mobility problems.
Hawk with the Nick Merckx camera.
Exactly, yeah. Just glocking him as well. And who's that on the cart? Oh dear, it's just Jinmu, right? Farway's trying to filter back in here. Okay, great pick on Iris by Gaga. That's perfect.
Chengdu battles back, but how many times can you consistently do this, right? It's been such a battle thus far. Is Atlanta very close to getting the cart over the line? Minute 33, still a ton of time to be able to do so. So you're going to be what? Do you nano? That's a sleep on a Jinmu. This is a huge opening now. Who do you nano? Do you nano Pelican here? Do you even need to nano?
Yeah. Send him in. He can play more aggressively here. Oh, and the defense matrix won't save. Leave against the focusing beam. Big pick for Pelican. They'll have to contest with another primal rage from Gaga, who got a lot of value last time around. Yeah, he gets rid of Master. This guy knows how to juggle. But Hawk brings him short of that health pack. Still has to be another regroup from Atlanta Reign. They're under a minute.
Yeah, even with that kill, you know, even the opening kills, right? Not enough to close the gap, close the distance. So far away with the nano, potentially over to Gaga or Leaf, right? But you do have a lot for the Atlanta Reign to work with. Duplicate. Here I am. You have that minefield yet again.
Oh, that got broken up. He slept. Beautiful stuff there from Iris. Oniana looking pretty insane. Pelican duplicates the brig. Okay, well, he's always got an insurance plan to get out, but Leave sticks him before he can get away. Goops him up. Nisha dive in the back line looking for Iris right now, and that means that Master has to stay
Iris
on
with
there.
These sleeps.
Unreal. They got a card across the line as well. Unbelievable.
Back-to-back sleeps onto Jinmu, and then right there getting Dove. He has a little bit of a mercy pocket, but I mean, that is a Leave coming at him. And he hits a sleep, like a flick with a sleep. I mean, he has been one of the more underrated players at any position, I feel like, in the league this year. Like I mentioned earlier, I had him as a role star. We talked about it on Plot Chat. Everybody kind of like laughed a little bit, but really? I think he's been that good. Well, I mean, there's so many good supports, right? Between Lux supports and main supports.
I'll say it. I voted him as a role star.
Yeah.
I think he's the best Baptiste. I think Shu is very close, but I didn't think his Ana would be this good, though, right? I know that most flex supports are great at both of those heroes, right? Like Fielder or anybody else, I get it, but incredible Ana played so far from Iris this game.
Nice duplicate from Leave there, just really going to get some health back. He's so low in that situation.
He also makes it really hard, yeah, for Hawk to penetrate his own backline, right? Lei Young loses the mech here, so Leave will drop a bomb. Oh, Irish just gets away from it there. He's definitely the most at risk to a self-destruct placement like that.
Gaga here in the back.
This should be a bio. No, Primal from Gaga. He's going to be able to get away, man.
That's massive.
Kai in the back line. Oh, look at that. Great prediction by Nisha, excuse me. Kai has to go and get a mega health pack, and this is it. The last chance for the Atlanta Reign. They're missing their Ana.
Yeah, you'll have a duplicate here, though, for Pelican. And a pulse bomb. Kai really kind of working around that flank on the high ground. Get a big pulse bomb here. And he's looking for Nisha again.
Leave is close by as well. Kai's seen everything he needs to. Far away, jumps away from the pulse bomb. And a body grenade there. Kai is going to recall, and Iris is down again. Gaga gets nano boosted and sent in on a very important mission. Get rid of the biggest thorn on the Hunters' side, and so they have. Gator's not going to get much done here either. Farway takes him down. Jinmu's able to translocate away before things get dicey. It's Late Young. Gets caught in the remake by Hawk, who's standing his own ground on the car. But look, Barca couldn't get away. Jinmu followed him and had the angle on him. Oh, it's just the Diva.
But he gets the nano, though. He actually plays that little line of sight so he can get hit by a biotic grenade and then get the nano boost. Where
so durable. Look at this. He buys enough time for Gator to get back and get rid of Nisha. The Hunters overextend to try and get rid of the Diva. Looks like they'll still be able to make a defensive hold happen here, though, as Master and Kai swoop on in and try their luck. Looks like they're going to pull up short as well and leave with a duplicated Ana. And that'll be it for the Reign. They get 2 checkpoints and they get in to the Lamerico power plant, but that's it.
So it's really when Chengdu was able to hold for an extended period right at the end of that second checkpoint. That's really what kind of saved them from giving Atlanta a massive time bank. What's also really interesting, at least so far, is seeing Chengdu play the Winston compositions as Atlanta now tends over towards Ball, right? You would have thought that Chengdu would have been the team that stayed consistent with these Wrecking Ball comps, but you know, maybe if you're going to try and play the Ana, right? You're going to play Ana with the Mercy. You want the Winston as a nano target. You know, you have a nano on the Winston, you have a nano on the Echo, potentially.
So the Hunters here have a pretty clear pathway to creating that map 5 opportunity. Big change up here for the Atlanta Reign, though. The Reinhardt and, okay, Lucio Moira. Here's far away. Those final moments.
Engage. You're powered up. Get in there.
Here you go.
I mean,
That's a pixel.
but look what Gaga did with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dangerous on the Winston.
Oh, here we go. Atlanta playing close on the sneak with the Reinhardt.
Tracer, Sombra, Ryan.
5, 4,
All right.
3, 2, 1.
I think the Ryan here, you know, Ryan Moira, you see the position that he's playing. It's really just a contest.
All right. I mean, Kai's on the roof. Jinmu gets a little too close here. He basically one-clips the guy. Now knocking on the doors.
Have the flankers work kind of both sides and then just have Gator sit in the middle on Reinhardt and try and beat him.
There's nowhere for Farah to sort of set up, right? She can't alight anywhere. And you see Chengdu switch straight away. They're like, okay, yeah, that's fair. Pelican, all right. Got a chug in the bush. Gonna have to translocate out though. There is Nisha is still hacked and it's gonna be followed up on there. But the Reign are committed here. This is where it gets a little bit messy. It's full send for Atlanta. Oh. And again, it's a pretty even fight. Hawk gonna stall a little longer.
Yes, Hawk has no problem just kind of giving up his life, and Mech here is they're just trying to build up some ultimate charge, you know, prevent the payload from starting to get moving. So now it'll finally unlock. Now it'll get moving.
You got a minute for that.
Yeah. Now this is a good look for Chengdu. We're far away on the Zen, very good, and then Nisha on the Brig, right? Two very good picks for both of these players.
Yeah.
It's been kind of the biggest change-up, right? Is them on support here for the entire series today.
Leave and Kai dancing with lasers there. Trace is dueling. Kai, I mean, you'd think a lot more respect be offered here to Leave, but he is only focused on that. Great stick on Nisha. Transcendence not in play here yet, but Farway is going to build it up with that kill, and straight away he pops it.
And you're gonna beat this with the Transcendence any day. But Pelican now with an EMP, you're not in a position to use it. Gator with a Shatter. Can you get back to the cart fast enough to contest here if you're Atlanta and use these ultimates? It looks like Pelican moving his way
They're going to
towards
try.
there. Yeah, I think they're going to try.
Gator can get there for sure. Wrecking Ball, translocate out. Shatter! Oh, he turns up, but it's too late. Yeah, it's too late. Still a one fight here for the Atlanta Reign. Bodes well for them setting up in this next phase of the map. It looked like he was there, but a lot of ultimates there, really just for a fight win. And hey, maybe you bleed more clock by playing forward. I think this is fine, right?
This is not a good spot to be in for the sports. Yeah, okay, so. Yeah, look, play. You're gonna play as close up as possible. I believe that's not Hawk.
Oh, it's actually Hal 3000 playing the whole time. Yeah, Hawk was just a meat puppet sat at the desk.
Hawk's just an illusion.
Sometimes I wish his tweets were. Either way.
They dodged, they got the sound barrier off there. That's big.
Yeah, and an EMP back in the direction of the Hunters. Kyrie recall, Pulse Bomb available soon, and he got rid of Farway. Oh, man, the Reign really want to play this. I like this swaggy little style. Playing nice and close, and they're burning a lot of time.
The leave there takes out Kai with a nice punch to the head, but you're going to be able to play aggressive yet again here for Atlanta. You're going to have the Coalescence just bleed the clock, right? It's like what the Shock used to do back in like Goats, right? Just push right up to your door.
So far, not so bad as well. They bleed another minute of clock doing that once more. Again, Chengdu have time to work with, and the Reign eventually have to succumb. But the pressure is constant. And the Hunters have to, I guess, to stay cognizant of that the whole time. It's exhausting. It's taxing to have to deal with this onslaught perpetually.
And that's how they want to play these fights with the Reinhardt. You can't just kind of sit back, let them just be the team that engages.
LH Cloudy doctrine of Reinhardt.
Especially when they're going to play Zen Break, right? No escape for that support line.
Kai another Pulse Bomb here last time. Caught Nisha beautifully. Farway's noted his presence though, and the Pulse Bomb will be deftly sidestepped. Shadow there, and that's going to catch Jinmu and Gaga. The Transcendence is going to be in play, and there's no insta-burst to break through this healing. So the Reign have to set up on the backside of this, and they hit the EMP immediately. Still they lose Gator though, and the follow-up is not
It's a 6-player EMP there for the Reign, but Nisha gets the rally out right before. So they have the rally, they're building up that armor, and that's good enough to keep everybody alive.
Yeah, messy stuff from the Atlanta Reign, and who would have thought not having Gator would be such a draw, I guess, against the damage.
Now they're walking right into this EMP, but maybe you can hide Masa and get the sound barrier off again. Oh. He's also got a build towards the top spot.
Minefield. EMP here. Catches 3, the front line especially.
You don't get either support.
Coalescence. It's online, but not quick enough to keep Gator alive. Still, do you use both support also try and make a stand here? I'd say it's pretty unlikely now, Matt.
No. I think with where the cart position is, okay, now that you get Gaga, you decide to use it.
What can Hawk do? He couldn't remech though, even though he got the sound barrier. Gator's back.
Though.
Okay, he gets forced away awful quick. Discorded, by the way. Oh, I don't know about this. This is starting to get a mite inefficient from the Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, maybe you just kind of saw the kill onto Gaga and thought it was winnable. You had Gator coming off the spawns, decided to invest, but okay, so now some changes overall. So Brig with the Batiste. So Brig Bap here. The Bap is going to be great to try and keep Gator off. And then you also have Cowboy in the mix. So Kai going to be able to control that high ground, but so much pressure with both the Tracer and the Sombra.
Now, Jimmy almost has another EMP because of that weird stagger from the Reign. He farmed them hard. Pulse is good. Gator gets the Immortality Field though, and he's going to be topped up.
At least he gets the Immortality Field down.
Here's that EMP now. So what's going to save the Atlanta Reign when the Hunters come calling? Is the pile drive on Gator. He's nice and topped up here, but Iris gets hacked. That hurts. No Immortality Field available either way, but the Hunters are going to have what it takes to push through and force a map 5 in this series. Sure, maybe they're shocked by the fervor that the Atlanta Reign come in with, but they're not giving this one up without a fight. Fitting, we get a map 5 here.
Yeah, this has been a good series. Both teams push to play so many different compositions, trying to get the better of each other. So I think it was really, maybe kind of having that sound barrier. They want to kind of make some wholesale switches, though. They're not really kind of working at that point. So they decide to use the sound barrier, where maybe if Hawk is able to get back in the mech there, things change completely, but not able to do so, and Chengdu forces a Game 5.
And bear in mind, the Atlanta Reign were just a little stronger when it came to control at the start of this series. That's an exciting prospect, though, because these two teams look more than willing to brawl out as much as possible. And again, the Atlanta Reign probably feel pretty decent coming back into it. We don't quite know what that map will be yet. The Hunters, I mean, either team, it doesn't get any easier from here on out. Win or lose is going to be a tough opponent on either side. This is double elimination, of course, so neither team goes home, but one team will advance to the upper semis. Stay around, everybody. We do have map 5 on tap.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
That's right, everybody. Step back in here to the roiling vortex of chaos with us now as we regale you with tales of these two teams playing up against each other over their last few head-to-heads, Matt. The last time we saw the reign of the Hunters, it was really a Hunters affair, right? It came, I think, at a point where the reign are pretty exhausted, long season, get out there that Hawaii pretty much have secured their playoff spots and are just really trying to get those extra league points to secure it. Chengdu were much better, but that was a hero pool meta.
Yeah, and oh man, this series going down to the wire, the loser ends up playing the Justice, the winner ends up playing the Fuel. I mean, obviously, I think you would still want to stay in the winners. I think I would still favor both of these teams over the Justice, what we saw today. But I think whoever wins this has to look at this as an opportunity to we get a path through a bracket where we don't have to play Shanghai and the Gladiators, who right now look like the two best teams.
Avoiding them wouldn't hurt.
Avoiding them to get to at least the winner final. And you know what? You're in the winner final, you lose that. It's not like you have to go win that many matches to find yourself back in the for the whole thing.
If you're either Atlanta or Chengdu, this might be your preferred route. Let's not forget what Chengdu did to Dallas.
Yeah.
They ruined them.
This is your preferred
last time they
route.
played in Hawaii.
In Atlanta, right, they've been in the same division as Dallas the entire year. I'm sure that they've been scrimming in North America. They have a general consensus of like where they view Dallas as a team. This is a huge match where either of these teams could really kind of find their way towards the end. Obviously the loser of this has to make a run from loser bracket 1, which is not likely. I mean, they would have to go on a tear.
And potentially have to face their opponent in this match again.
Right.
Which is always a factor in these double elimination brackets. So, it really does all come down to this. A map 5 in this series between the Atlanta Reign and the Chengdu Hunters. We've outlined their stakes already. Simply put, both these teams would like to keep that second chance intact for as long as they can in this tournament. So now on Oasis, we're out of the gates here. And the Hunters, of course, with Ballfara and in the Sombra.
This is pretty much where the series originally started, right? When we had the Reinhardt comps for the Atlanta Reign up against the Ball compositions for the Chengdu Hunters. The Chengdu Hunters play the Ana yet again here, where this makes more sense, right? Because you're not going to play a BAP with this comp. You're not going to play Zen Mercy. The only thing you could make an argument for is like, play the Echo and play like
Mercy, it's got to be Ana map.
Yeah, it has to be.
All right, so Immortality Field, they're down already. Asa's able to find the D-suit on Late Young, but Jinmu's poised to do a lot of work, and Gaga, he finishes off what Jinmu started.
Good damage coming out from Jinmu at the start is the thing that deters the Atlanta Reign from just marching onto the point and trying to march down a target, right? Just chase them down. That's what the comp wants to do. And I think if you're Chengdu, just try and you have to focus on. If I was kind of coaching Chengdu, I would be talking to Leave about trying to focus the hacks, whether it be on Gator. I would really focus them on Hawk, to be honest. If you get Hawk, that's really what's giving Jinmu the most trouble up in the sky. If you can get Hawk out of the equation with like his defense matrix, you're in a much better spot to keep Jinmu alive.
Nice job by Pelican there. He's had a huge fight. He completely occupied far away for so much of that engagement. Even with Late Young coming up to try and peel for that Ana, wasn't enough.
You used the B here right at the end. You may not have needed it.
Definitely questionable, but it's not as if... look, the Hunters don't have a lot of their power concentrated in their support ultimates with this setup, right? Who gets Nano? Probably Late Young. Who does he dive? I don't know.
Oh, I think you give Nano to Jinmu for sure.
Without Barrage here?
Well, I mean, he's far away
he's already
from
used
it, right?
it. Yeah, he's already used it. Okay.
Yeah. I think in the overall comp, you definitely give it to Jinmu.
All right, well, not a great start for Kai there. He got caught out by the pile driver.
Well, this is where you would have loved to have the sound barrier, right? With like the minefield coming out, with the minefield dropping right by where you would exit, you would pop sound barrier and get aggressive behind that speed boost and push on forward. Without that there, you kind of leave Gator in no man's land. Really no opportunity to survive.
Jim, the way you sliced it, that premature beat really hurt the Reign. And the Hunters really want to make sure they know it. Twisting the knife now as they look for some of these stagger kills. And the Reign have to wait for Pelican to rejoin.
But where Moss is at percentage-wise now, depending on when this next fight kicks off, you may not get another beat. Right? 30%?
That's grim, isn't it?
30%? You're at 60% on the point already here. Let's say this fight ends, 70, 75%. We come back. You're like last fight territory there. Could have been the only beat of the round.
Pelican again. Hoping to force the sleep from far away. He's just been so harassed this entire round. And that pulse bomb finds its home on Gaga. Now, is there a chance to punish Late Young here after the remake? No. In fact, Farway's going to clean up Pelican again. That's a tough matchup. Pelican's in an even matchup against an Ana player.
He wants to peek out and try and help, but he knows his life is so important with this Nano. And there it is on the Jinmu.
Over the top he goes, like you said, Nano boost for the Pharah, and that's 2 for Jinmu.
And that's an EMP combination as well. EMP Nano Barrage, that is filthy.
And that'll do the job.
Not much you can do to live through that. And look, like I talked about, that was the only beat you got in that whole half right there. So that one beat that you used, I believe it was like a 4v1 on the point at that moment. Maybe they thought there were more players coming in, but you would love to have that beat back.
Such a long, such a hard-fought series here for the Atlanta Reign, and again, just one sound barrier at the wrong time could cost it all. City Center's going to be our next round here. Again, a tougher map to make the Pharah really work, and the Hunters know it. And they'll probably switch up to Tracer Sombra. That comp works great for them as well.
So when you take a look, this is from far away's PvP. I mean, that is...
I've had sleep darts like that where I'm like, I have no idea how I actually hit that person.
I mean, you can see from his point of view, like his tracking is just way better than yours. Like the little adjustment there at the end, like he knew exactly the way Pelican was going to move. And that is sick.
I believe you if I thought you paid any attention to what I do on Ana, but every time I heal you through a fight, you end up going, oh, I killed them all, guys, it was all me. I'm like, okay, you definitely have no idea what's going on.
I mean, I killed them all.
Like in the past,
me and Decay would be good teammates.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the Crypto in this situation. I'll take that. That's fine. He's good looking. All right. Atlanta Reign have that, obviously, look, a bit more of a central position because they're playing around the Reinhardt here. So Gaga has to really try and work his way in from the extremities here.
Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of the angle they're working towards. And this is where Pelican's got to be pretty careful, right? And Nisha's played pretty good on the break when we've seen him on it. So you see him on the stairs to the left, just protecting far away.
Pelican just, I mean, he put a lot of pressure on Late Young there. Really, look, you're right. You don't have much burst healing here for the Hunters at all. I mean, that constant pressure in Pelican's really going to put a draw on those healing resources.
Yeah, and also it's quite odd the way Chengdu played that. The composition that they have, right, wants to be aggressive, burst, and die. It's not a composition that's going to outlast the Atlanta Reign. Like, when both teams are, like, sitting there in the neutral and doing poke damage back and forth, that is best case scenario for Atlanta, right? That's exactly what they want. Late Young gets demec'd, he's going to jump off the side. Because the Batiste Lucio is such an advantage in terms of healing output compared to the Zen and the Brig, especially when the Brig's not in the action. So, very odd way to play that from Chengdu, where if they would have went aggressive, maybe that fight could have been a little bit different.
All right, no Sombra here for the Atlanta Reign, so Farway shouldn't worry about his, you know, that Transcendence being threatened. Pelican at 5 FPS. Pulse bomb deployed. Just a tickle, but the Transcendence was there, and the Reign would be wise not to use that sound barrier right about now.
Still just off of that one fight, you're going to get above 50% here for the Atlanta Reign. So, very good point progress. I also think that Atlanta has a... I mean, they could have played a little bit more forward, like they did with Kai with the Deadeye, but I think they're more equipped to have a better hold of the point than like Chengdu, right? It's going to be a little bit harder for Chengdu to be able to hold with this, you know, aggressive composition. There's more opportunities for them to make an error.
Sound barrier has to be used there. The self-destruct coming over the top. Rain May would have liked that for something else, but I feel that you absolutely have to beat that.
That is such a worthy trade, though.
Oh, okay, that catches Late Young and not Nisha, apparently. So Late Young's picked up. Gator is well out of position, but he fixes that, doesn't he? In a pinch, he crosses the map, gets the pin on Gaga, and Master's able to follow up with a kill. That's beautiful.
Chengdu may end up with another Transcendence out of this, so can they keep Farway alive? He still has some rally armor. Do you pop it to try and extend this? Leave gets Gator, and now you have Leave and both supports here on the point.
Iris has Immortality Field in a couple of seconds here. He may not have to use it, though. The Reign don't have the point yet. Pelican has to go deeper here. They need to get rid of Gaga first and foremost, but that adaptive shield from Gaga keeps him nice and topped up, and the Reign have to wait, I guess?
Yeah, and they're going to be walking into an EMP. So, how they try and navigate this, they may not even need to use it in the way that Leave is playing. Leave is just picking up kill after kill here.
Great stick there from Leave.
He is popping.
Yeah, he's just doing his thing, man. This is what you get when you have an MVP on your roster. Mortality field was there. Leave ignores it because no one's there to stand under it because the Reign are in full-scale retreat. They've been routed from the field.
Well, this is the time you want to see your MVP play like the MVP. So you could do it. You could do it in the main melee. You could do
garbage time.
Yeah,
Mickey
garbage
Mouse
time.
maps.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is game 5, first round of the playoffs. I mean, this is when the MVP needs to play like it, and Leave has definitely done it on this point.
Atlanta digging those claws in, but they're starting to run out of purchase. The Hunters are now ready to run them off the cliff face entirely. Sound Barrier comes out from Master, it catches on to 5, and Pelican's able to get Nietzsche with the Pulse Bomb. He'll play around the health pack while he can and force Leave away, but there's more work to be done for this intrepid Tracer Traveler. Pressure
get Iris
on Late Young, but Iris gets picked off there. Not good at all. Kai gonna fall as well. And the Chengdu Hunters, they've got the sheer force of numbers to push over the top. Gator goes for the shatter there and gives him the Late Young kill, but he gets run down. Lee finds his way behind the barrier, but Pelican's there to get rid of Farway. Now it's a literal 1v1 to the point. It's gonna be Jinmu versus Hawk. It's gonna be Nisha coming back in now. Hawk needs to be careful. One hack means he's done. Pelican had to recall there. Hawk was hacked. They know he's got that self-destruct for a remake, and here's the Immortality field. The Raider back with numbers, Matt.
Oh, but you have Gaga back on the point. We're going to almost get like a little bit of a full reset here. So everybody's going to dodge that. Going to have a rally here for Nisha once everybody gets back here for Chengdu.
Gaga, he's low. Pelican surely looking for him right now. Doesn't find the Wrecking Ball. Instead decides to build up that ultimate. Farway getting pressured. There's a rally in play, but it's not enough to keep Lei Young inside the mech. He goes for a self-destruct and a reset. He'll get back in as well. Iris has lost that Immortality field. This has to be a big stick and he gets Farway. Can more be done than that for Pelican? It might have to be. Air Matrix is in play, but the Atlanta Reign can't benefit from its positioning, and the Hunters get the job done. The Atlanta Reign are plucky, to be sure, but once again, the Hunters send them packing.
Oh man, what a bounce back there from Chengdu. As this series, it was a little bit wacky, to be honest. It felt a lot like Atlanta had control of this series. But the way Chengdu battled back towards the end, you really start to see them make the right decisions in terms of like what they were playing in terms of supports. And they really started to get the number on the Atlanta Reign. You see Atlanta devastated, really. The series so close to being in their hands and taking it. But Chengdu turns up when it matters the most, wins those final 2 maps.
It's just really hard to see the Reign taking that control back after, they walk onto the point, they're down 3 players, they're in a position where they could win the fight. It's like a 3v2 favoring them. Yeah, and they don't have anyone again in the back line.
Jinmu gets 2 EMPs during that fight. It goes on for an eternity.
It's a frustration here for the Atlanta Reign, who, in fairness, it's never come easy for this team, right? Long travel schedules, brutal strength of schedule in general, going up against the Hunters, who, may be the antithesis to their style in many ways. But, look, for the Atlanta Reign, there is some silver lining, right? They go up against definitely a known quantity in the Washington Justice. They know that, hey, look, there's a good chance that, we've definitely got more tournament to play here. A win against the Washington Justice really starts to rocket them, I think, into the upper echelon, because that's when the eliminations are going to happen in that lower bracket.
Yeah, they get right back into the thick of things, right? You're able to take care of the Justice, although the Justice may look better than people expected to. Sure. Against the Dallas Fuel, you're able to get past them. You're right back in the thick of things.
No doubt about it. And our player of the match here, presented by Xfinity, is a no-brainer, much like our MVP selection was. Turns out it's also the same person. For us today was Leave, Matthew. Again, look, there's a reason why, like I said it in the MVP video, it's someone who consistently has an outsized impact on the game relative to other comparable DPS players. That's Leave here in this series in a big way. Pelican's great on ping, no less, and he'll be on NA ping, by the way, when they go up against the Justice, but Leave here is just a cut above.
I mean, they were having issues at times protecting the supports. Jinmu, he had his moments, but it wasn't like a standout game. But Leave consistently, map in, map out, made plays. And he played, it feels like a million different heroes throughout this. Played the Tracer, played the Echo, played Hangzhou, played Ash. We saw him do it all, and I feel like in the maps that they won, he was extremely impactful.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Sombra at times, right? He picked that up and also looked really, really solid. Again, I mentioned before, Chengdu have a weapon that many teams do not. Shanghai might have the best Sombra, but Chengdu have 2 of the top 4 on their team, and they are super flexible because Jinmu has a really frenetic hero pool. So Leave being able to fill those gaps effectively and not only sort of cover for those weaknesses on Jinmu's side potentially, right, but also look like it's like the best in any of those different roles makes a huge difference.
I also feel like this is a big win for Chengdu because there's probably a lot of pressure on Leave coming into this match because, obviously he is crowned the MVP right before coming in. You don't want to be the MVP and then lose in the first round. So to be able to win this, I think, is a huge kind of sigh of relief for the Hunters.
It's a win without Monk or Yveltal as well. Yeah, you know what I mean? Who were a fixture in this roster for the longest time. So the Hunters are showing us some unprecedented depth of roster here by having Farway and Nisha play the entire series and look incredible. Farway's Ana was a real highlight for us, and the Zen looked ferocious, right? What we expected from him.
Yeah, we don't really know exactly why they kind of changed the support core up here at this moment in time, right? Because they didn't play in the play-ins, so we didn't actually get to see them play for a very long time. But obviously they saw something in scrims, and with the hero pools of what these players know to play and can play at the highest level, they definitely saw something, which ended up working out in their favor today.
So it's going to be Chengdu versus Dallas, and then Atlanta versus Washington. That's how this bracket starts to break out. That's pretty ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, great to have you with us so far. What an exciting day to kick off our playoffs here in 2021. We're going to step aside for a moment. When we come back, we're going to hear from Nisha on a momentous victory for Chengdu, again dealing death to the Atlanta Reign, sending to the lower bracket. We'll be back after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League.
Aloha! Welcome back to the show. It's Emily again. Congratulations again to the Chengdu Hunters. What a day of an emotional roller coaster. I mean, first, Leave gets MVP, and then we lose the first map, and then we win somehow. So joining us today for the very first time on Watchpoint is Nisha from the Chengdu Hunters. Congratulations, Nisha! 恭喜你们! Okay, never mind. He's expecting me to say something. So right before I started this interview with Nisha, he actually said that he speaks English and understands most of what I'm saying. So we might try our best to communicate in English today. So Nisha, the first question that we wanted to ask you was what happened in the match today? Why did you guys choose to substitute Monk with Farway? And why did Jinmu play Junkrat on King's Row? 能听懂吗?
Yeah. The one question is, Farway was played more good than, he was better than Monk, so in Scream, so he was in the game.
Wow, Farway must have been really excited because a lot of the Chinese fans know that Farway has been begging the coach to put him in. 对吧, Nisha? Farway 一直求教练去让他上场，是吧?
Yeah.
他今天是不是很开心?
The question is that we expect they choose to double shield, so we pick Junker as a counter pick.
Okay, very good answer. So today was a very impressive day for the Hunters because your star DPS Leave received the MVP. So how did the rest of you guys react, and how do you feel? 因为今天离开得了 MVP， 你和你们的选手们都有什么感受呢？怎么反应的？
I was like, he was totally worth it.
Yeah, totally deserved. That's your cheerleader over there. And the last question that we wanted to ask is, tomorrow, first thing in the morning, you guys have to face off against the Dallas Fuel. So how do you guys feel about them? Any special preparations you'll make against the Fuel? 明天早晨你们会面对达拉人，对吧？那么你们面对他们有什么特殊的 strategy？ 都有什么想法呢？胸有成竹吗？
Yeah, I think we just need to treat them in normal way. So they play dive comps a lot. So we just use Brigitte and we won.
They play what comps a lot? Dive comps, you said?
Dive comp. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Looking forward to it. Well, thank you so much. I think the desk understood everything that Nisha said. I don't think I need to translate anymore. So thank you so much, Nisha. 再次恭喜你们拿下了今天的win against Atlanta Reign. And 祝你们明天一路顺风。好，谢谢 Nisha. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I think it's so impressive that he tried to do this entire interview in English. All right, well, that's all for me, you guys. Throwing it back to you guys at the deck.
Thank you so much, Emily, and of course a huge thank you to Nisha.
Let's go, Nisha! I love Nisha now.
I'm immediate favorite player. There
Nisha,
we go.
I love you.
Yeah.
I just want to say I love you.
Yeah, that was great.
I need.
Yeah, you heard it here first. We all I need. I don't know what we're not.
That actually makes sense. I is love, right?
Yeah, was I?
Wow.
Whatever. But we love him, and that's all that matters. And they played phenomenal. Him and the whole team. They somehow brought it back against the Atlanta Reign, and we will of course talk about that. But first, bracket. Yeah, let's take a look at this one. Shaped up here, of course, is our winners bracket. And if you don't see your team here, well, that's because they didn't win. Not our fault.
All right. So you mentioned top of the day, the color coordination. Do we like it better now?
I like it. I like this.
I kind of like it, Zoe.
Guys, quick question to I have a personal question to Custa. What color comes out when you mix yellow and blue?
You want to get Let's give it a go, Costa. What could it be?
Green.
Yeah! You did it!
I panicked there for a second. I was really worried I was going to get it wrong.
We're going to put you on the spot with the alphabet tomorrow. So you're not safe yet. Not safe yet. But of course, all the teams which lost are not out yet. It is a double elimination bracket. And, those teams will just find themselves in a do-or-die game for the 2021 season tomorrow. No pressure, but really all the pressure. All the pressure. Any of these teams... a big surprise to see them in the lower bracket?
It's actually funny because it's the bottom 4 seeds, so kind of.
But so funny, yeah.
A lot less funny when you
dead
put
serious,
it that way. Well, I think Atlanta Reign, as much as we all predicted the Chengdu Hunters, I think they played a great game, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But I think that they have a lot to play for in this tournament. They have much higher expectations for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I actually want to dive into that game, let's be real. The Reign, obviously we talked about this matchup coming into this. They were the dark horse, but quite frankly, for a lot of this actual series, they made Chengdu look like a pony. Okay?
Wow.
I went there.
That's the best pun all day. I will give you that.
Thank you. That means a lot, actually, coming from you. But no, I think this was a great first look at the Atlanta Reign in this playoff. And some might even say they were the better team and should have won it. So this must be a heartbreaker for the Reign here, Reinforce.
Yeah, I was massively impressed by the Atlanta Reign throughout this entire series, because coming into it, throughout the regular season, if you play dive compositions, if you play Wrecking Ball, like you're going to be the favorite, because the story of the 2021 season has been Wrecking Ball and dive compositions. Well, Atlanta Reign, I think they stepped up and had a very formidable performance. If they hadn't C9 on this Temple of Anubis to allow Chengdu Hunters to cap it out on the second go-around, they very well could have won this series 3-0. I'm not kidding. The Atlanta Reign looked so good, they could have been the 3-0 winner here. Instead, the Chengdu Hunters, of course, they figured things out. Atlanta Reign, they get a 2-1 lead after winning this Kings Row map we're looking at right now. Jinmon the Junkrat. That was a positive surprise. Love to see that. But the Chengdu Hunters going over to Dorado, I think here they figured out that Kai was having a good game on that Tracer. And so why not just put the 2021 MVP leave on the Tracer to just demolish it? That's a pretty good win condition. Yeah. Like, oh, you got a good Tracer. Well, we got leave. So, go for a walk. We'll see you guys later. No, but I was really impressed by the Atlanta Reign, because they made the Ryan compositions work with Gator. He had a good series. Kai, of course, he did what he needed to do on the McCree. But at the end of the day, Chengdu Hunters, they were the favorites. They got away playing Leave on the Sombra and Jinmon the Farah, and then putting Leave as well on the Echo at times looked really good. So impressed by both teams, quite frankly, and just sets up for a great day 2 of the playoffs tomorrow.
I would like to call this the Pelican effect for the Atlanta Reign.
Okay.
Right?
You need to explain it.
No, because remember in Countdown Cup, it was Chengdu versus Atlanta Reign, and Atlanta Reign got honestly bopped. But hey, they put Pelican in, and then everyone I think it just boosts their morale. And it was like, all right, we can do this.
Yeah, I actually agree. It is the flexibility that we always talk about from Pelican. Like, he can play everything, and that sort of enables everyone else. And I think it wasn't even Pelican who was the standout DPS player for this team. I think it was actually Kai. Yep. That McCree made it so hard for the Chengdu Hunters, and that's why I didn't think they were going to have any legs in this match. But I think the Atlanta Reign just didn't capitalize when they needed to, and you can't take credit away from the Chengdu Hunters. I think Jinmu struggled in the front half, but he started coming alive towards the end. Same thing with Farway. It is a controversial situation to put him in on that flex support instead of Monk, because Monk has had such a great season, but towards the end, Faraway really proved himself to be a formidable flex support as well, and made the plays when it mattered. That sleep onto Pelican on that Oasis literally clinched that round, and that sort of led them into that final map 5 win.
Absolutely, but I do think we had so many standout performances. Also, sorry for giggling into it for some reason, because you mentioned Pelican and him just kind of being there, so I thought of this emotional support Pelican.
Did you bring it on flights?
Yeah, bring it on flights. A fun fact, actually, which we've been told from Artie, one of our PAs, that there are no Pelicans in Hawaii, and there still aren't, because Pelican didn't fly here. There's something there.
It took me a while to process. I didn't get it at first.
I don't know. You didn't get it?
Yeah, I didn't get it at first.
It's been a long day. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Because he's not here, guys. I know there's some of you that are just giggling just because there's friends that are giggling, but yeah, now you know.
Yeah.
Pelicans
So
not yet.
apparently,
So no Pelicans.
the answer is you cannot bring your emotional support Pelican on a flight. That does not work. However, you can bring him into the match, and it still kind of works out. They did look good. A lot of stand-up performances from a lot of different players on both teams. So I'm excited to just see more of both of them. And now, with this match in the books, let's look at who won and lost in our playoff predictions. It seemed like all of us had a pretty good day.
Here goes.
With our predictions, except for Danny. Danny, you were wrong about
Good job,
Philly
fam.
as you got misled, blinded, baited even by the confidence of Mano. So thanks to him, you're now even behind the fan vote when
Ooh.
it comes to playoff predictions. Well,
Hey, it's fine.
it's fine.
I'm kind of upset that you ruined like the mesmerizing.
It was
Eerie.
Hey,
It could have been
no,
really
it's
pretty.
beautiful. We always want 1X.
Why?
Not Mr. X.
No.
I'm joking.
Oh my goodness.
Different X.
And now you're taking it out on other people? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, come on. Well,
Hey,
if anything,
behave.
you can't even make fun of the fans anymore, or Reddit or anyone, because they are doing better than you right now. So until you stand above,
Guys.
you
Yeah,
got.
but Mano didn't talk to them. He only misled him.
That's
it's not. It's not on Danny.
So it's
fine.
Mono's
You know,
fault.
You're blaming
Yeah.
Mono. That's no choice.
Blame it on Mono. It's Mono's fault. But
Yeah.
I do still believe,
He
they're
lost
in the
that
lower
playoff
bracket.
match.
They're
You're
gonna
blaming him for your prediction loss.
Hey, they're gonna come back up. Philadelphia Fusion, I believe in you.
Let's go.
There it is.
Well, they have a
Mano,
lot
you
to
better.
prove, and they have one more chance to do so tomorrow in their do or die match. Now, we will be right back in a moment to give you our best moments of a jam-packed day of Overwatch. Coming up next.
Best of the day!
Woo-hoo! Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.